every second, every minute. Man, I swear that she can get it. Say if you a bad bitch, put your hands up high. Hands up high. Hands up high. Tell them turn the lights down right now. Put me in the mood. I'm talking about dark perfume. Go.
I recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit. And I know your taste is a little bit high maintenance. Everybody else basic. You live life on an everyday basis with poetic justice. Poetic justice. If I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? I mean, I write poems in these songs dedicated to you, and you're in the mood for empathy. There's blood in my pen. Better yet, with your friends and them. I really wanna know you all. I really wanna show you off. Fuck God, pour up plenty of champagne. Cold nights when you curse this name. You called up your girlfriends and y'all curled in that little bitty range. I heard that she wanna go and party. She wanna go and party. Nigga, don't approach her with that Atari. Nigga, that ain't good game, homie. Sorry, they say conversation through the nation. I can tell, but I could never right my wrongs unless I write it down for real. P.S. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it, you can get it. I know you want you want. Oh, I the justice, put it in the song. Alright. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it, you can get it. And I know you want you want. Oh, I the justice, put it in the song. Alright.
Taking notes on my keyboard, what you bothering me for? There's a room for what you following me for? Sing a fucking sing along. So girl, what you singing for? Tell some girl like a seaport. My seaport, money, money. They got keys in the trash, they rolling. Good time, love, they have for the girls, they are so fun. Bring some poison, rainbows on it. Nice handshake, first life on mine. All that dance, life on mine. Flipping, they loving the crew, they loving the crew, they loving the crew. Oh, they loving the crew, oh, they loving the crew, they loving the crew, they loving the crew, they loving the crew. Taking notes on my keyboard, what you bothering me for? There's a room for the niggas, what you following me for? Sing a fucking sing along. So girl, what you singing for? Tell some girl like a seaport. My seaport. Where'd you go? Girl, you know how I've been living without you. Daydreaming on a cloud with you like the rising. With you tonight is on an island. It's about time for waking up. Found you wasn't with me waking up. Now you said I couldn't miss your touch. I needed to distance myself from you. I was just in love with you. So confused.
recognize your fragrance. Hold up, you ain't never gotta say shit. And I know your taste is a little bit high maintenance. Everybody else basic. You live life on an everyday basis with poetic justice. Poetic justice. If I told you that a flower bloomed in a dark room, would you trust it? I mean, I write poems in these songs dedicated to you and you're in the mood for empathy. It's blood in my pen. Better yet with your friends and them. I really wanna know you all. I really wanna show you off. Fuck that, pour up plenty of champagne. Cold nights when you curse this name. You called up your girlfriends and your girl in that little bitty range. I heard that she wanna go and party. She wanna go and party. Nigga don't approach her with that Atari. Nigga that ain't good game home is sorry. They say conversation rule the nation. I can tell, but I could never right my wrongs unless I write it down for real. P.S. You can get it, you can get it, you can get it.
feel like months. Wake up for a year, only know like once. Life move fast and you do what you want. I guess I'm doing what I want. Hope you do what you want. What you want.
My new bitch look like Halle Berry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch fun like Jackie Brown. I wanna know if she too down. Will you be my leading lady? I want a contract, yeah, no maybe. In the meantime,
It's not going where I want.
it's some me time.
Hope you do what you want.
Crib by the beach like Odell. No, but mom, my killers don't tell. Shut down my mom cause I knew you off the shelf. Now my bitch is big to Chanel. Will you be my leading lady? I want a contract, get a little maybe. In the meantime,
It's not going where I want.
it's some me time.
Hope you do what you want. Only been a few hours, but it feel like days. Only been days, but it feel like months. Wake up for a year, only know like once. Life move fast and you do what you want.
In the meantime,
It's not going where I want.
it's some me time.
You do what you want.
In the meantime,
It's not going where I want.
it's some me time.
You do what you want.
Maybe I don't love myself, I don't know. Leave me here, I'll fuck myself. See me in the mirror, I duck myself. Don't need much, so fuck my wealth.
I need you in the morning, but I need you now. Yeah, I know I give you all you need. I know what you like. I feel it coming. Tell me that the essence. I try to keep you, and I need some lessons. I need to give it all. I tried to live, but I can't. I don't know why I got the wall. Drop me out of my mind. Don't need no other body. Don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body.
Then I need a mess of my mind. And I need to get free of the mind. Say your body talk to me nice. Say I'm my love you didn't need for your life. Yeah, our love no be like. Say every day together, yeah, day and night. Yeah, if I leave you go by. Yeah, if you leave I go. Love me your body, baby. Love me your body, baby. And you're whining your body, baby. So crazy. Love me your body, baby. Girl, you want need me. I just wanna let you know. Oh, baby, day.
Don't need no other body. Don't need no other body. Only you feel on my body. Only you feel on my body. You don't need no other body, baby.
Hotel shining stars, big dip. Get a lot of hashtag gang in the city.
I need a car.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Y'all please hit that like button on your way in. Well, double tap the screen for you, girl. How y'all doing? Oh, let's see. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Come on in, come on in, come on in. Hey, Lady Marie. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Melissa. Who else we got? Hey, Miss Sonia. Hey, keep it cute. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear me, please, and thank you. I will appreciate it. Y'all know when y'all don't be talking and speaking back, I be, I be kind of paranoid that y'all can't hear me. Ooh. Anybody can type in the chat. Let me know. Driving in the bushes. Okay, keep it cute. Just let me know if y'all can hear me. Somebody let me know if y'all can hear me. Oh, Jesus. I know a lot of y'all can't type. Y'all just be listening, but if I can get just one person, see y'all. Sonya speaking. I don't think y'all can hear me. Thank you, Sonya. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, girl. So listen, y'all just listen. If that's all y'all can do, I appreciate it. Just make sure y'all double tap the screen and like the live. So we're gonna talk some more today, and this is probably gonna be an ongoing thing for a minute because I have a lot of stuff in my playlist that I want to bring awareness to and to listen to and to talk about whenever we can talk about it. You know what I'm saying? So thank you, keep it cute. Even though I won't be covering it every day, I probably will be covering this. I got a lot of content that and even some content that I hadn't started yet. That I have a lot of stuff in my playlist that I want to talk about. So, with each story that I cover, I'll probably be alternating days. On when I cover it, but it'll be like an ongoing thing. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, we're gonna talk about Kyron today. I do want to say this though, and I'm gonna repeat it, because I know everybody over here supports my T channel. Maybe I just wait, or maybe I shouldn't. But I want to. I will say this. I'll say it like this. I need everybody to please pray for Candy and her family in this moment, right? I just need everybody to pray for Candy and her family. I'll get into a little bit more of what's going on the T channel because I know everybody don't you know uh tap in on this channel, and what I want to say, I don't want to like repeat it. I will repeat it. I'm gonna repeat it, but I just feel like I'll wait till I get over there where everybody's over in one spot and we could talk about it. But I just want to ask y'all to pray for Candy and her family, and I'll talk about it more later over on the T channel. Okay. All right. With that being said, thank you, Sonya. With that being said, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna start. So I do have a couple of more clips that I wanted to play concerning this whole Kyron Lacey. Oh, and pray for Lucius and her family. Like I said, Kyron Lacey is a relative of our sis Lucius. So I do need y'all to continue to pray for her and her family as well because they are going through it right about now as well. Okay. So please continue to pray for Lucius, her family, Kyron's mom, Kyron's dad, his siblings, and things of that nature. If y'all don't mind doing that for me too as well. Thank y'all so far for the likes. Continue to tap that screen to like the video if you have the live stream. If you have not done so, and feel free to support the channel. So I do have a couple more clips that I want to play. And then we're gonna get into this I think I got something from a couple of content creators, but the main content creator that we're going to react to is a, a, a young man that I started watching back. I want to say, I think it was back when I was covering the Angie Stone story, and I've been watching him ever since. I enjoy his content. Um, I support his channel, and he has a couple of videos. Actually, he's got a couple of videos and a couple of live streams. I'm not gonna react to the live streams today because they are kind of lengthy, but I will eventually get to them. But we are going to react to a couple of his videos that he has put out concerning this. He did cover it back when Kyron initially passed away, when we was covering it too as well, and I think I reacted to those videos that he put out during that time. So we're gonna listen to what he has to say today, being as though this new evidence has emerged. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna continue to talk about it because I hope and pray that this young man receives justice. Do I feel as though Kyron Lacy was wrongly accused of this crime? I absolutely do. I do, and I think it's sick and it's sad, and I think people need to pay. Like, people are getting away with too much these days when it comes to things like this. Like I said, the truth don't need no help, and when the truth is the truth, there's no need for lies. See, when the lies start being told, that's when you know something's not right. I stand on that. I mean that. Good morning, Miss Margie. Good to see you. Good morning, April. Good to see you too as well. Okay, so let's get into these clips. We're going to do a couple of clips first, and then we're going to get into that content creator that I mentioned. All right, so with that being said, let me see. Let's see the next one I wanted to. And you know what? Actually, his video is next on the playlist. So I'm going to play him this first video. The name of the channel, and I'll share it out on my community wall. Introvert Rockstar. And if y'all remember him, we reacted to some of his videos back in the day. With a couple of situations, we reacted to him. Introvert Rockstar. Like I say, I absolutely love his channel. Y'all go check him out. Y'all may like him. Hit that like button over there with him. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all that. Support him if you deem fit. Or, no, that's not the word. If you enjoy his content. All right. So the first video we're going to watch today is one of his videos. This is the first video he put out. Hold on, y'all. This is the first video he put out after the news broke about the new evidence concerning Kyron's case. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Thank y'all again for being here. I do honestly appreciate it. All right. So of course I'm gonna put, and I gotta get with Mad because he gave me a watermark for this particular channel. This one right here is for my T channel, but he gave me one for this channel, but it's not showing up the way this one does. So I gotta get with Mad and see if I can get that fixed. But until I get that one, we're just gonna deal with the T channel watermark. All right, Natasha. All right.
Good to see you, Matt. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, Martin. Thank you for having me.
Did you compile anything new?
I've got everything. I've got every piece of evidence I have viewed. I've examined every piece of evidence, which includes all surveillance, all body cam footage, and most importantly, the investigative report that was generated and manufactured by the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office, according to the data that they obtained.
Is most of this reports, or do you have actual video?
At the entirety of the district attorney's findings, their findings after their own investigation. That's what we're here today to present. We're going to compare and contrast those findings with the findings of state police, because there's a ton of confusion. People seem to believe that somehow he hit someone in this accident, or possibly even shot through two cars and there was this explosion behind him. I've heard every version possible, but we can show you the version right now.
Okay. Sort of describe the video for our audience, what you've seen in the video.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyron Lacey come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens and then Kyron Lacey is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyron Lacey did in fact pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyron Lacey passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards.
And that was my whole thing I was trying to explain to Matt. That was my whole thing that I had an issue with. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you want to say that, okay, this lady did what she did or made this turn or made this maneuver that she did because of Kyron being in the other lane, but he had already made his way back to his lane of travel. That's my whole thing. So you can't use that. Like, you can't.
Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
And you already know on this channel, we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like black people, black issues, black talks, get to stepping. Insiders reveal Louisiana troopers often swept misconduct under the rug to protect the department. Federal oversight and documented cases show a clear pattern of targeting and falsely accusing black men, making cases like Kyron Lacey's part of a much larger issue. The Louisiana State Police have long faced scrutiny for false accusations, excessive force, and cover-ups. In 2019, troopers told Ronald Green's family he died in a car crash, but body cam footage showed he was beaten, stunned, and dragged. The false report exposed how officials misled the public. Make that make sense. In the same way they lied.
And see, that's another thing, and I'm gonna play it again for y'all, that little portion, because that's another thing I like and respect about his channel. He does his research, right? Yeah, I know true. You know, I don't have a whole lot of time to do a whole lot of research. I do as much as I can before I speak on the topic, but that in-depth research and going into, you know, I just don't have the time for it. That's why I respect channels that actually take the time to do it. And those are the channels that I like to highlight, and those are the channels that I like to react to, because they are putting effort in, they are taking time to do this research. That's one thing that I really like about his channel, is that he will always give you examples. Whenever he's covering a story and there's some type of accusation, such as what's going on with this case, he will go back and he will pull, he will research it. He would show you instances, examples of this stuff happening over and over and over again. He does that with all of the cases, and that's why I do like and enjoy his channel. Hey L Boogie, much love, girl. Good to see you. Good to see you. Okay, so listen, he's talking about another case where a family was lied to about the death of a loved one, and it was a cover-up. A whole entire cover-up. Let's listen.
Of targeting and falsely accusing black men, making cases like Kyron Lacey's part of a much larger issue. The Louisiana State Police have long faced scrutiny for false accusations, excessive force, and cover-ups. In 2019, troopers told Ronald Green's family he died in a car crash, but body cam footage showed he was beaten, stunned, and dragged. The false report exposed how officials misled the public. Make that make sense. In the same way they lied about how Ronald Green died, I believe they lied on how Kyron Lacey really died. But we'll talk about that later on in this video. But I covered this story over and over and over again. And from the jump, I knew it was a lie. But you, Tyler Warner, and you, Brianna Imani, it's all y'all fault. Y'all lied on Kyron Lacey. Y'all made a statement and lied on Kyron Lacey.
I don't know much about, but I am going to go back and do my research. I do want to go back to that because I want to see the timestamp. Thank you, Des. I love your channel and glad you are covering this. Thank you so much. I absolutely do feel a way about this case, not only because Kyron was a family member of one of our Truth Sippers, one of our day one Truth Sippers. She is a beautiful soul. We love Lucius so much, but because you know, when it comes to young black men, all black men really, but especially young black men in situations, and I just have this is what this channel is for. This channel is dedicated to my son, and I'm dedicated to covering cases like this. You know what I'm saying? When there's a young black man and something like this happen, I get triggered. I really do get triggered. But I appreciate the support. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Dez. I appreciate that. All right, so let's talk. These two people he just mentioned, I do want to do a little research and find out what, I guess they were on this whole campaign of Karen is guilty, Karen this and Karen that. So I will be doing my research to find out who these people are and to see, you know, go deeper into what it is they had to do with, you know, this case.
In this video, but I covered this story over and over and over again. And from the jump, I knew it was a lie. But you, Tyler Warner, and you, Brianna Imani, it's all y'all fault. Y'all lied on Karen Lacey. Y'all made a statement and lied on Karen.
They made statements.
Y'all tried to frame Karen Lacey. You ruined his goddamn life. But you know what? I'm gonna talk to y'all in the few. In the meantime, run the tape.
The gold truck, they end up getting a statement from this individual. There's two of them. The very first one, what I noticed on the body cam was that the conversation was going on for 4 minutes and approximately 30 seconds prior to the body cam being activated. And of course, when the body cam's activated, I don't know what you said those previous 4.5 minutes, they end up at this individual's house to obtain a statement. I want to play right now how that statement started.
Okay, let's roll that in.
Now he's reacting to, I'm thinking, because we reacted to back when we first start covering this interview that Matt, this is Matt Ory, the guy to the right is Matt Ory. He is Karen's lawyer. And we reacted to an interview he did with this same guy back when it first happened. And he told the guy, he said, and this is when Karen first had passed away. And he came on and he told this guy, he said, there's evidence that I have that's out there that Karen was not responsible for this accident. And I think at that point he was like, you know, he wasn't going to release anything. It was an investigation, So I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the, he just recently did another, hold on a minute, hold on. I think this is a more recent interview that he's doing now after this evidence had been put out. So let's listen. And I think I have this interview in my playlist, the entire interview. So if I don't, I'll go get it. But if I do, we're going to listen to it as well. All right, let's listen.
All right, sir. So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, your address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, you know, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
It's Highway 20. Highway 20. You know that you just.
All right, maybe my wife gonna figure out right.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, like, you know, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't scared motherfucker. That's what I wasn't even going, man. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what happened. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, like, you know, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's
right there. That guy right there. If him saying he had to slam on his brakes, listen, y'all. With that person right there saying that he had to slam on his brakes, then that would make it what the other lady did, who actually caused the accident. that would make her in the right. Because she, just like she said, she would say, I veered off because this guy slammed on his brakes, and to avoid hitting him, I veered off. See, that's why that cop is stressing for that man to put in that report that he had to slam. But this man is saying he did not have to slam on his brakes. He barely hit brakes. Matt got the data from his car that shows he did not have to do that. He did not do that.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness, who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing, I wasn't even going for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't saw what was happening. That's how she called that wreck. She was running in the back of me, she pulled on the other side, and that's not in it.
I didn't skid marked or nothing because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side.
And this is from Ashley Hardy. This young lady, Brianna Imani.
So Ashley Hardy, this is a Facebook post. This is a Facebook post posted by Ashley Hardy.
Gray caused a crash which ultimately took veteran Herman Hall's life. Instead of taking responsibility, she lied. She gave a statement painting the picture that Kyron Lacey was responsible for the crash. State Trooper Tyler Warner took Brianna's statement and then the investigation coercing a witness and forging a witness statement, alleging stating a high-profile person.
Ashley Hardy stated on Facebook, right, he slowed down, right there, some love to have us to turn on one another. Sad part, they know what can cause some to sell their soul. So listen, Ashley says, this young lady, Brianna Imani Gray, see, I never knew the name of the young lady. That's who I said is one of the people I need to go check out. So this young lady, Brianna Imani Gray, caused a crash which ultimately took veteran Herman Hall's life. Instead of taking responsibility, see, she could have been a distracted driver. She could have been a distracted driver who did what she did because she wasn't paying attention. Instead of taking responsibility, she lied and gave a statement painting the picture that standout LSU football player Kyron Lacey was responsible for the crash, causing him to be charged with negligent homicide. State Trooper Tyler Warner took Brianna's statement. Probably that was State Trooper Tyler Warner that was talking to that guy. Took Brianna's statement and did an investigation coercing a witness and forging a witness statement, allegedly stating a high-profile person was responsible.
Was responsible. Make that make sense. And Brianna, I saw your Facebook account. That guilt been eating you alive every single day. You ruined Kyron Lacey's life. You lied on a statement. They made you make a statement and you lied on it. You caused that accident. You caused all this stuff and you went on with life like this shit didn't even matter. You went on with life like you didn't even do nothing. Well, guess what? Those same racist cops that helped you lie, those same racist cops that helped you write that statement, where they at now? They're not going to speak up for you. They don't care about your ass. Those racist cops care about them. They care about their careers. They care about their image. That's it. Now you going through this bullshit. Now everybody on Facebook calling you out because you tried to move on and go on like you didn't even do nothing. But I could tell by reading all your posts that guilt was eating you alive. But I heard something. I heard something through the grapevine. I heard it's not only you that was involved in that accident. That cop was covering up for you and somebody else. Tell me I'm lying. I told y'all the game is cold. These people been doing this shit, but I'm glad it's on Front Street right now.
Welcome back, Natasha.
And back to you, Tyler Warner. While you out here celebrating making 35 arrests in the month of August, while you out here celebrating your birthday, your jealousy, your hatred, your racism is the reason why Kyron Lacey is dead. Tell me I'm lying. You persuaded this person to make Kyron Lacey suspect number one, knowing after you saw that video, you saw the video already, you knew that Kyron Lacey had nothing to do with that accident, but yet you was covering up for people that was involved with that accident. You was covering up. It wasn't just Brianna. It was multiple people you covering up for, and Kyron Lacey was just an easy target. and then you want to make a name for yourself. Well, congrats. You finally got the attention that you wanted. And before I spaz out on you, let's go back to January when Kyron Lacy turned himself in, because I told y'all I let nothing slide. Check this out. And this article is by WBRZ, January the 12th, 2025. Former LSU player Kyron Lacy posts $151K bond after negligent homicide arrest. Sunday night, Lacy was booked into the Paris jail for negligent homicide, hit and run driving that caused a death in reckless operation.
Hit and run driving? Wait a minute. Where the hell that come from? He didn't hit nobody. Hold on.
Lacy posts $151K bond after negligent homicide arrest. Sunday night, Lacy was booked into the Paris jail for negligent homicide, hit and run driving that caused a death in reckless operation with accident. His bond was set at $151,000. He was booked at 6:53 p.m. and left at 8:11 p.m. Make that make sense. And all this was a money grab. You gotta think about it. These people had this video. This incident happened last December, almost a year ago. They had this video. They knew Kyron Lacy wasn't involved with their accident. They knew Kyron Lacy didn't cause that accident. But what they do, they use their racism to manipulate the people. What these news outlets do is they create stuff like this, wanted images. Why would you put up a wanted image? Why would you make it seem like Kyron Lacy was on the run? This dude is in college. He's a star on the football team. He's going to the NFL next season. Why would he be on the run? And then they put up his mugshot to make it seem like he's already guilty.
Right.
And what do people online do? They bash him. 1 week, everybody praising him for a touchdown. The next week, they crucified him.
Absolutely.
They crucified him. Imagine having to pay $151K for a bond for something you didn't do. Imagine having your mug shot up for something you didn't do. Like I said, 1 week they praise you for making a touchdown. The next week, everybody crucify you. And don't think I forget to these news outlets, WAFB, WBRZ. Don't think I forget what y'all did. When y'all was showing the video of him being wanted, y'all showed videos of him doing touchdown celebrations, pointing guns. Y'all showed everything he was doing while he was dancing to make it seem like he was guilty. I saw what y'all did. I remember that evil shit. So don't come with that sorry or I feel bad for the family. Y'all people are evil. I remember all the goddamn comments. I'm telling y'all, never trust the media. Never trust a lot of these people either, bro. Especially in Louisiana, they racist as hell. Soon as they say, "Oh, he unalived a Marine," bro, they act like they care about Marines. They don't care about Marines. They don't care about Army vets. Who are the most homeless people on the streets right now? People that went to war, people that went to Iraq, people from World War II. They on the streets. People don't care about them. They just act like they give a damn, bro. I told y'all the game is cold. Tell me I'm lying. Body cam footage shows trooper telling the gold truck driver to say he had to slam on the brakes to avoid that Charger. The driver, however, blamed the woman behind him for causing the wreck when she swerved to avoid hitting his truck. On camera, the driver also said he wasn't going fast and left no skid marks, but his written report claimed he slammed on the brakes and emergency brakes to avoid the crash. The body cam was turned off.
Y'all know what this is. Y'all know what happened. Let me tell y'all what happened. Kyron speeding, passing 4 cars, getting back over in his lane, ain't have shit to do with that accident. That woman couldn't have saw Kyron over that truck. That woman was a distracted driver. Period. That woman was a distracted driver who, when that truck in front of her, put on his brakes, not slammed on his brakes, not his brakes locked up and all that bullshit. When that man slowed down to stop, she had a jerk reaction. In order to avoid hitting him, because she wasn't paying attention, she veered out and she caused that accident. Period. Anybody can see that. You could clearly see that. And they lied. They lied on him. What he was doing on the other side of that road or north of them up there ain't had nothing to do with that accident.
why he wrote the report. Make that make sense. And I have to be honest, most Louisiana troopers are DUMB. Tell me I'm lying. And you, Tyler Warner, you really tried your best to frame Kyron Lacy. And then you tried to move on with life like everything was cool. You going to football games, you having birthday parties, you having baby showers, you having weddings, you doing all this stuff like everything was cool. But I see why you was hating, boy. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
And you have to think about it. At the time, Kyron Lacy was 24 years old. Tyler Warner was 24 years old. Kyron Lacy is a star at LSU. Tyler's wife is at LSU games every Saturday and LSU home games every Saturday, cheering for Kyron Lacy.
What?
While Tyler Warner is on ITN, hiding behind the trees, waiting on drunk drivers and waiting on people that's speeding. Kyron Lacy is going to the NFL the next season. Tyler Warner is going on Plank Road in an abandoned parking lot and waiting on drunk drivers and waiting on people that's speeding. That's your life. Your jealousy, your hatred, your racism is the reason why Kyron Lacy was murdered. And yes, I said murdered. Check this out.
Uh-oh.
And I'm always telling y'all, sometimes I have to sit back, shut up, and use your common sense.
Now, before
They
this
told
guy
us-
keeps talking, I love him. Before he keeps talking, I remember back when we first reacted to this, that there was question of whether or not Kyron actually unalived himself in that car. Because the story is, you know, he got into it with a family member. He shot a gun towards the ground. He left. He was in his car. He was driving, and the police got behind him, and there was a whole chase. And by the time they got to him, you know, he had unalived himself. That was the story. But I remember even back then, I don't know if it was him, probably was him, or, you know, whatever. I do remember there was speculation that Kyron did not unalive himself. But let's listen to what he's about to say.
Houston PD, that Kyron Lacy took Houston
Hold on, let me
PD
back that
on a
up
high
just a little bit.
murder. And yes, I said murder. Check this out. And I'm always telling y'all, sometimes I have to sit back, shut up, and use your common sense. They told us, Houston PD, that Kyron Lacy took Houston PD on a high-speed chase, and you know, he did to himself. I can't say the S word, but if you know, you know. They said he did that. Well, if that's true, where is the video footage? It's 2025. It's cameras everywhere in Texas. We have no footage of that high-speed chase in Texas. We have no body cam footage. So you telling us y'all walked to his car with no body cam footage? Where is the body cam footage that can prove all of this stuff? I'm telling y'all, they did the same thing to Ronald Green. Their favorite excuse is two excuses they always use for black men all the time, for black women too. All the time. It's always, oh, they died in a high-speed chase, or they died by, you know, doing it to themselves. I can't say the S word, but if you know, you know. It's their favorite two excuses. So where is the video? We have no video. And I know in 2025, you don't take these people's word for it, because all they have to do is lie to you. We have no video of their high-speed chase in Texas. And then they said, someone took his chain. Why not talking about that? I told y'all, bro, these people.
Kyron Lacy's mom said someone stole his chain out of his car either the same night of his death or days later. Now, mind you, I do want to point out, if y'all hadn't caught on, Kyron did not pass away in Louisiana where this incident happened. Kyron was not in Louisiana. He was in Houston, Texas. And I hope I'm saying that right. I think he was in Houston, Texas, when the whole alleged high-speed chase and his unaliving happened. He was in Texas.
Being evil, and they all connected. If you feel like I'm tripping, in my comment section, tell me I'm tripping. And to the NFL, don't think I forgot what y'all did. Y'all told Kyron Lacy to not come to the NFL combine.
Oh my God, that right there broke him. I don't care what nobody say. I know his mama agree, his dad agree, his lawyer agree. Everybody that knows Kyron know that when they disinvited him to that NFL draft, that broke him. I feel it in my soul. I didn't know Kyron, but I know a Kyron.
that meant so much to him. And you had no video footage that he did anything. All you had was word of mouth. It was no pictures, no videos, nothing. And you told him, don't come to the combine. And Shannon Sharp, I ain't forget about you either. On your night show, nightcap, whatever it's called, on your night show, you was talking like he was already guilty.
Yeah, I did. I didn't agree with Shannon Sharp. But look how things turn out. Look at what he going through. See, it's easy to place judgment on people when they're going through. It's so easy. It's easy to see his brick face ass over there, and say what he says, because I still believe, he's a whole sellout pawn or whatever. So he had his little comments, you know what I'm saying? He made his little statements or whatever. Him and Ocho sitting up there looking like two motherfucking, oh my God. And they had to say, and I got that too. And I also got what they got to say today. See, a lot of people be, you know what I'm saying? Ooh. Yeah, I'm going to calm down.
And you never saw a video. You never saw a picture. All you saw was that mugshot. All you saw was that wanted image of Kyron Lacy. You're cold for that. And LSU, don't think I forgot about y'all, bro. I see a pattern that y'all do. Every time a black.
Let me tell you something. Shout out to Angel. I ain't even shut. Hold on. Let me go share this damn video right quick. Hold on, y'all. Can you play your truth when you're ready? I got it on my playlist. I got a whole. That's why I say, Melissa, we're going to be covering this for a while. I got a whole lot of stuff on my playlist. I created a playlist. It's a whole lot of things I want to cover. A whole lot of things I want to react to. A whole lot of things I want to put out there. So I promise you, it's coming, boo. You watch me every day. You gonna see it. You support me. It's coming. I promise you. Let me go share this video right quick. Give me just a second, y'all. Cause I want to make sure y'all know I be tending to forget stuff. Now, y'all remember what I said? When did I react to this? Friday? I think it was Friday that I did my reaction. And I said that the way the coach was speaking, y'all just, I know a lot of y'all can't type, but if you remember, put a 1 in the chat or just say, yes, truth, I remember. Do y'all remember on Friday when I good afternoon, Mama T in the bushes until I make it home. Okay. Be safe, honey. Thank you for being in the bushes. I appreciate it. So do y'all remember me saying, hold on, let me see. Do y'all remember me saying when I listened to the coach's statement, I got a little irritated, I got a little perturbed. I don't remember exactly what I said, but I did, gave my opinion on how that man came across when the LSU coach spoke. Listen. I sometimes pride myself on being able to read people. I do. It's easy. All you gotta do is pay attention. I tell y'all all the time. All you gotta do is pay attention to people's body language. All you gotta do is listen to comprehend, not just listen to hear and things of that nature, and just pay attention. And I told y'all when I listened to that man speak, now that this new evidence, because initially when he spoke back then, I didn't feel like he felt anything. I feel like he had also tried, convicted, and sentenced Kyron. I did. I may not have said it because, with stuff like this, you got to be real, sensitive, especially with Kyron being who he is and, Lucius being our sister. You don't want to agitate stuff. You don't want to say stuff to agitate stuff. But definitely in this statement that he made after this evidence came out, I felt something. I sure did. And I think I said it Friday. I don't remember exactly what I said. But let's listen to what he got to say.
Plays for y'all, get in trouble. You throw him to the wolves. You act like he never played for y'all team.
Let me back it up. Start tell it.
Saw a picture. All you saw was that mugshot. All you saw was that wanted image of Kyron Lacy. You're cold for that. And LSU, don't think I forgot about y'all, bro. I see a pattern that y'all do. Every time a black football player that plays for y'all get in trouble, you throw him to the wolves. You act like he never played for y'all team. You act like he was never a brother. You act like he was never the band of brothers. That's what we say in football, band of brothers, B.O.B. But when a black player gets in trouble, y'all throw him to the wolves. This man was by himself. This man was defending for himself, defending for his life, and he was innocent. The video came out that he was innocent. Damn. Rest in peace, Kyron Lacy, bro. I'm out.
Rest in peace. Come on.
I want to approach.
All right, so let's listen. Like I told y'all, I got a lot of clips of different people speaking. This is another clip. This says Kyron Lacy deserved better. Ringer tailgate. So I think the name of this channel is Ringer tailgate. I'm also gonna share this video out. I'm gonna share all the videos that I react to today. Y'all, I'm gonna share them out on my wall. So if y'all want to go over and support, you can go and support. Definitely go support Introvert Rockstar. Definitely go support him.
This what I'm about to say. Understanding what we're doing here. We're having so much fun, guys.
Mind you, a lot
I
of
never
reactions
knew
that I'm
that.
going to play. A lot of these reactions that I'm going to play from these players, from these coaches, from these media people, from all these people. These are some of the same people that made statements when this all popped off. When Kyron first got in trouble, well, not got in trouble, but when Kyron was first charged, when Kyron passed away, because you got to remember, Kyron was charged. He passed away months later. Some of these people's reactions that I'm going to play, these same people came out and spoke when he was first charged, when he passed away. And a lot of them having to come back and pretty much recant or retract their thoughts and opinions of Kyron. See, this is how quick the judgment we tend to be sometimes with people. You know what I'm saying? This guy's one of them. Let's listen.
Spending Saturdays, the day that you're supposed to have off, with Tate and Joel and everybody who's worked so hard to make Ringer Tailgate would be so much fun. And we want you to have fun. And we want you guys to have fun with the games today. We want you guys to have fun with the games tomorrow on Sunday when you're watching the NFL. Somebody who won't be playing tomorrow when the NFL games come on is Kyron Lacy. He's he was a wide receiver for the LSU Tigers that took his life earlier this year. And even in saying that, there's the reports are that that's what happened. I just don't want to
Monday,
assume
Miss
anything.
Ann. Good to see you,
If you guys don't know what happened, Kyron Lacy was hit with a litany of charges, and those charges were pretty bad. He was essentially accused, arrested, and charged with negligent homicide and the death of a war veteran, or should I say a military veteran in Louisiana. And the judgment was swift. It was swift on social media. It was swift by members of the news media. A lot of people had a lot of things to say. When Kyron Lacy died, a lot of people, including myself, thought that it was maybe.
I want y'all to listen to this. I want y'all to listen to what he said he thought, because truth be told, what he initially thought when Kyron passed away would have been a thought of a person that thought he was guilty. He's going to tell y'all what he thought Kyron was thinking when he unalived himself. But if you listen to what came to his brain, what he thought happened, his initial thought will let you know that this man right here, back then, thought Kyron actually had done what they said he had done. So let's listen.
That he could not live with the shame.
Hold on. Let me go back so y'all can hear from the start.
On social media. It was swift by members of the news media. A lot of people had a lot of things to say. When Kyron Lacy died, a lot of people, including myself, thought that it was maybe that he could not live with the shame of what he had done.
So with him saying that means if he thought Kyron unalived himself because he was dealing with shame from being a part of that man passing away in that accident, that means you had to think without a trial, without a verdict, without anything, without clear-cut evidence that Kyron Lacy had caused that accident. That means you will quit the judgment. That means you will quit. That means you convicted him before he actually, that means you thought he was guilty. If you thought that he unalived himself because of guilt behind what had happened, when this young man said from gate that he did not cause what happened, this means you believe that he was guilty. And that's one of the reasons why he's not here today, because so many people tagged him guilty.
It almost seemed, if I'm being completely honest, that his death was an admission of sorts. That the things that he had been accused of that had not been adjudicated in criminal court, that they were true. And that maybe they were eating the kid up.
Hey,
someone
Renee.
who was beloved by his teammates, beloved by the LSU culture, beloved by all. I didn't know him. I didn't know his family, but he was a popular, lovable player. And maybe he just couldn't live with it, couldn't live with the burden. This past week, a video came out. And the video came out from Kyron's lawyer. And it proved pretty definitively to me that he simply did not do what he was accused of doing. I do not know the ins and outs of the case. I don't know the ins and outs of driving at a high speed or whatever, but I do know that what it was said that he did, from what I watched, as explained by his lawyer, it doesn't look possible that he did it. You can see it, it's on tape. And not only is that on tape, what else is on tape is body cam from a police officer seemingly coercing someone into accusing or placing blame on Kyron Lacy for something. You see it and you can hear it. Obviously, he's been everywhere. Everyone's seen it. Man, I'm begging for y'all to treat these people like human beings. I'm begging. I'm begging you, man. I'm begging for y'all to treat these young men like human beings, man. I'm begging. I'm begging. It's just very difficult to talk about. It's very difficult to sit here, and I can't even look at the camera, because if you just were around and saw just the love, the focus, the sacrifice, the dedication, the perseverance, what it takes for these young men to get to a place where their lives are valuable to a society that doesn't value their lives.
Come on.
That what if everything that you did that was deemed good was based upon how fast you ran, how high you jumped, or how far you could throw a ball? And then in 1 second, someone goes, nah, you are who I thought you were. That's the thing. The thing is, and I'm not going to drone on, the thing is that oftentimes as a black man, particularly a young black man, from a certain situation, there is this belief that you don't have any worth and that you have to do something. You have to prove yourself in the eyes of the white gaze to prove your worth. And then if something else happens, boom, he is who we really thought he was. Kyron Lacy did not take his life because he couldn't live with what he did. He took it because he couldn't live with what they were saying he did.
Come on.
That the stress and the weight of all of the things that came out, the fact that he wasn't given the opportunity to be a full person when he was accused of something, or that something that he was accused of in the first place was thrust on him because of who he was, that he couldn't get around that. Now he's not here anymore. You guys think it's an extraordinary case. It's very familiar about people who cannot live with this albatross around their neck. I have not, I legitimately haven't slept well.
Yeah, man. That's man, that's so well said. And I'm glad we made space for that, because this has been a great day of football. But that is a really sobering thing. And I think people, my career, just a little bit about it was that I got to cover crime or cops, in a bunch of places, Dallas, Shreveport, Tampa, whatever, Atlanta, like I've covered in a lot of places. And the one thing that I can say without inflaming a lot of people is saying that this is why we don't convict people based on police reports. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, that you are allegedly presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Absolutely.
And you're supposed to have your day in court. And people are theoretically, like, sometimes, something can be so obvious as that, or it can seem as obvious as that, well, we can pretty much reasonably guess as to this person's guilt or innocence. But none of us knew anything. All we were reading were news accounts of police reports, and we drew a lot of conclusions about who Kyron Lacey was and what he had done. And the thing about, if you've had enough time to go over police reports and cover crime, you find out a lot of times that those reports are bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, the information in them is bullshit. And sometimes it's not because people are trying to fuck with somebody's life or whatever. It could just be often the police officer, the sheriff's deputy shows up after the thing happened, and they got to ask people around, hey, what happened? I wasn't here. So that's why you have eyewitnesses. But it's just important to remember that if there's anything I can say about this, is that you don't have to believe everything in a police report. You can wait. You don't have to make judgments about what is going on. And the last thing I'd say about that is, man, I have a son and a daughter, bro. And I was thinking about this today because I've thought about like times in my life where I was like, man, but for the grace of God. But how do you explain to your kids that, like, man, sometimes life is just really unfair? Like, you will get fucked. Like, life is going to hurt you. And there may not be anybody that can help you out of it, right? Like, there may not be a way out of a situation. Like, there's just sometimes for no reason at all, or sometimes people sometimes just want to perpetrate evil against or hurt people for whatever reason. And how do you explain to them that, like, a lot of times the way you get to the other side of life and you get to grow old and have whatever success is and experience love is by sheer luck. Like, sometimes you got lucky, nobody fucked with you, congratulations. And so I was just trying to think about, like, if Kyron Lacey had been my kid, like, what I would have said to him, like, to keep him going on another day. And man, that just sucks, man. And it's just one of those things about, I hate to say it, I don't want to, spoil everybody's fun, but sometimes being Black in America, you have to think about that kind of stuff. Just like, it kind of sucks that, even if people think you have some sort of worth or you're valuable to people, that it can just go from you in an instant.
And those judgments hold so much weight, and they happen without any knowledge. And Kyron Lacey deserved better. I mean, that's just really what it comes down to. And
Absolutely.
He's an example of so many that also deserved a whole lot better. And I think both of you guys made great points about that fact. And just reading the story, hearing his lawyer present the facts, and just to talk about their conversations that he had with Lacey.
Oh man, for seriously,
man.
bro.
Jesus Christ, to that man.
Yeah, man.
He said, "I got you, dog."
Yeah.
You honor that man's legacy for real. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I think this is Kyron Lacey did not die by accident. Okay, so this is Introvert Rockstar. This is Introvert Rockstar again. This is his video, but I want to play this one. I want to play this again. I played it at the beginning. I want to play it again. I want y'all to hear. I want y'all to hear Matt Ory, Kyron's lawyer. All right, let's go back to where we stopped. Shout out to Matt Ory. Let's go to Introvert Rockstar video, and I'm gonna share it out on my wall. Kyron Lacey did that.
In a statement, the Harris County Sheriff's Office said the Precinct 4 Constable's office was called to an address along FM 1960 just after 11 Saturday night, where Lacey had reportedly shot into the ground during an argument with a family member.
The victim saying that no one got shot. She's saying that he shot the gun and then left.
A deputy constable reportedly found Lacey driving about half an hour later and tried unsuccessfully to stop him, prompting a several-mile chase that ended here along Aldi and Westfield, then crashed. His father, Kenny Lacey, putting out this statement on Facebook, encouraging parents to check on their children's mental health. Several athletes also put out statements of their own, echoing his message. Now, to be clear, the Harris County Sheriff's Office is investigating this through their homicide division. They did put out a statement saying they recovered a gun from inside Lacey's car. They also say dash cam video shows Precinct 4 did not fire any shots after this chase was over. Right now, we're still working to clarify that also means no shots were fired before this chase ended. Shannon Ryan, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
And you already know, this channel we hold racist Caucasian people accountable, because if we don't, who will? And before we start this video, if you don't like Black people, Black issues, Black talks, get to stepping. In 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice opened a civil rights investigation into Louisiana State Police for racially biased policing and falsified
Let me
records.
slow him down because he always talk fast, but I'm going to read this. Let me slow him down. In 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice opened a civil rights investigation into the Louisiana State Police. Now, mind you, I'm going to repeat again. Kyron was charged in Louisiana with that crime. He passed away in Texas. He did not pass away in Louisiana. He passed away in Texas, okay? In 2022, the U.S. Department of Justice opened a civil rights investigation into the into the Louisiana State Police for racially biased policing and falsified records. The Louisiana State Police has a history of falsifying police reports. Federal documents showed troopers manipulated crash reports. Are y'all listening? This is documented. This was back in 2022. Kyle was charged in 2024. Federal documents showed troopers manipulated crash reports, hid video evidence, and rewrote events to protect their own. Several officers were later arrested for malfeasance in office and filing false records, proving these acts weren't isolated but part of a larger culture of misconduct.
Federal documents showed troopers manipulated crash reports, hid video evidence, and rewrote events to protect their own. Several officers were later arrested for malfeasance in office and filing false records, proving these acts weren't isolated but part of a larger culture of misconduct. Falsified records, hidden footage, and false narratives have been used again and again, often when the victims were Black.
While not every trooper is corrupt, the pattern is undeniable. Falsified reports, hidden footage, and false narratives have been used again and again, often when the victims were Black. Many believe this reflects a deeper historic bias in Louisiana law enforcement, where power has too often been used to silence and criminalize Black lives.
Many believe this reflects a deeper historic bias in Louisiana law enforcement. Make sense. And they really wanted him dead. The racist people on social media, the raccoons on social media, the news
I just want to
outlets.
say this because I don't know if I've ever said this out loud, but this is something that me and my dad talked about one time when we were sitting down and we was talking. This is back when I was reacting to this case when Kyron first passed away. Me and my dad was sitting talking, and I said, Dad, I said, you know, a lot of people think, and it's true that like these standout players for these colleges. See, listen, I've said this before, I'm gonna say it again. College football is huge as far as money. It is huge, especially in the South. You would be surprised the donations, the support, the money that's involved, everything when it comes to college football. These Southern people support, donate to, monetize college football. They have booster clubs. These boosters, they donate countless amounts of money to these college programs. Okay, and when you have standout players, those standout players are highlighted, they're praised, you know, and things of that nature. But a lot of times, even for as many people that love these standout college players, particularly Black college players, is probably an equal amount of people. And I'm not going to say which race of people. I'm not going to say which class of people. I'm just going to say as much as love that they have, they also have an equal amount of hate just because of who they are, what they've accomplished, and what their skin tone is. And that's facts. So I said that to say this. Even though Kyron was a standout player, he was an excellent player. He was an A1 player. He was definitely going to the NFL. And he had people in the state of Louisiana and all over that loved him. There were other people that felt a way about his success. There were other people that didn't like that he was a young Black 24-year-old man that was getting all this attention and that was getting all these accolades and that was on his way. But the scary part is you don't know who those people are. You don't know who those people are who sat around and waited for his downfall. They could be law enforcement. They could be any type of person that just didn't appreciate the fact of who Kyron was and what he had accomplished. Just think about that, y'all. Just think about that.
On social media. And what I did was
like he pointed out in his last video how the cop that manipulated that police report, his wife was an LSU football player fan and a Kyron Lacey fan. She probably talked about Kyron, praised Kyron, went to those games every Saturday, watched Kyron. It's a possibility that her husband didn't like that. It's a possibility that he wasn't so much a Kyron fan. Okay? Just think about it, y'all.
Back to the news coverage when Kyron Lacey died, and they all said the same thing. It was damn near word for word. They all said he unalived a Marine vet and he fled the scene. They all said that. The media and these fake racist journalists.
When the story first broke, they lied. They was lying in the media. The media was lying. Kyron never hit anybody. He never made contact with anybody. He did not hit that man, and that's how they made it seem like Kyron's car actually. You know, it's just so.
Reason why Kyron Lacey isn't here today. Tell me I'm lying. But before I spaz out in this video, run a tape.
When you're talking to Kyron Lacey and he's saying, Matt, I wasn't involved in this. What was his mindset like at the time?
It's horrible. Look, man, you got a young kid that's getting assassinated on public media, social media. He begged me to help him. I was already helping, but it was a consistent deal, obviously, meaning far after representation, begging me to help him. And you move as fast as you can with what you have, right? But there was a defining point for me in this whole situation that I knew he wasn't joking. And he referenced things in football fields. And I know it's easy to look back and say, oh, I bet he never said that. He's deceased now. BS. I'm telling you now what he told me. He said I was a football field. A football field is how he compared things, right? So he's saying when he got back in his lane of traffic, I know I was a football or even a little over a football field over by the time I'm back in my lane. And when I told him that they had video surveillance of this whole thing, it was like he was relieved for a second. Because I think in his mind, he thought that, which most did, most people that I talk to think that he actually hit the vehicle or he barely got past him and then they collided. That was the narrative that I heard the most. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, at least he's looking at this going, okay, somebody can show I was actually watched this accident. I saw it. And he told me there was a car between them. Hell, after I read everything prior to meeting with him and the things that I heard, I'm questioning what's going on here. Mm-hmm. Did he just get through and take off like they suggested? You and I read reports earlier. We're looking at all news reports where they say he actually collided with a vehicle.
They did.
They actually said he fled a scene. They actually said he came back to the scene. Do you know how preposterous that is?
Yeah, they sure did.
None of that's true. And he sure as hell never split the difference and barely got through. And then there was some big explosion. That's not what happened.
That's a lie.
And like I always say, make that make sense. See, racist Caucasian people and raccoons, they love to pretend like they care about Marine vets. They love to pretend like they care about Army vets. They don't care. See, Kyron Lacey was black, and it was an opportunity for them to show their racism. Kyron Lacey was black, so it was an opportunity for them to show how much hatred they have for black men. Tell me I'm lying. And you, Tyler Warner, with your hating ass, this all your fault. I'm gonna spaz out on you later on in this video because the rabbit hole gets even deeper. Y'all remember Kyron Lacey died in Houston, Texas, in Harris County, the most corrupt county in Houston. Check this out. Harris County, the heart of Houston, has one.
All right. Excuse me, y'all. Hold on. Let me drink some water. Thank y'all for being here. I do appreciate it. Y'all make sure y'all double tap that screen for your girl. Like the video, get it out in the algorithm. Feel free to support the channel. The Cash App is pinned at the bottom. Harris County, this is where Kyron passed away. The heart of Houston has one of the worst records of police corruption in Texas. Officers have been caught falsifying reports, planting evidence, and lying to cover up the killings of innocent black men. The Harding Street raid exposed just how deep the corruption runs, showing a system that protects dirty cops instead of the people they're sworn to serve. Let's listen.
Worst records of police corruption in Texas. Officers have been caught falsifying records, planting evidence, and lying to cover up the unalivings of innocent black men. Even after investigations and indictments, the
lies haven't stopped. Many believe the truth about Harris County's police cover-ups of black men's death is only beginning to surface. For decades, black families in Houston have buried loved ones while police rewrote the story, calling murders accidents or self-inflicted to protect their own. Now the community is demanding justice, and the people deserve to know what really happened.
lies haven't stopped. Many believe the truth about Harris County's police cover-ups of black men's death is only beginning to surface. For decades, black families in Houston have buried loved ones while police rewrote the story, calling murders accidents or self-bang to protect their own. Now the community is demanding justice. Make that make sense. And yes, I believe he was murdered. You have to think about it. The very next day, his trial started. Why would he do that to himself? No, the real question is, who wanted him silent?
Now let me correct him on that one. Not the very next day. I think a couple of days later. If I'm not mistaken, and y'all can always go back and do your research. If I'm not mistaken, Karen died over the weekend. I think he died on the Saturday. I'm not sure. All I do remember is that Karen passed away, and I think 2 or 3 days later, he was set. The grand jury was set to convene. He was days away. It was days away. The grand jury hearing that would have determined whether or not Karen would be indicted. Because I want y'all to remember this. When this young man was being hung to the cross and being crucified and judged and everything, he had not even been indicted. Do y'all know the difference between being charged and indicted? When you're charged for a crime, you're charged. You're charged. You're not guaranteed to face that crime or to go to trial unless you're indicted. You have to be indicted in order for it to be a trial. He was not indicted yet. He was only charged. So when he passed away, he was days away. It was days. The case had not even made it to the grand jury, and he had not been indicted. But the court of public opinion, in my opinion, had already indicted him, had already tried him, and had already found him guilty. That's where he was at, including the NFL.
Oh no, Tyler Warner hating ass ruined the whole investigation. He made mistake after mistake because he wanted.
And I do remember in that interview that Matt did originally with that guy, he said it. He said that. That's why that clip that I played where he said he told Kyron to hold on. He said if he had waited one more day. So that he might be right that it was the next day that it was going. I'm not for sure. I knew back then. I knew the details, but that was some months ago, and my memory was kind of cloudy. So what he said makes sense because in that clip, Matt said, "I needed Kyron to hold on one more day." Because Matt Orry said in that interview, he said it. He said, "When I take this to the grand jury, Kyron would not be indicted." He said that. I reacted to it. It's on my previous content. He said, when I take this to the grand jury, I am positive that Kyron will not be indicted.
Ruined the whole investigation. He made mistake after mistake because he wanted to frame Kyron Lacy. He lied. So when you lie one time, you gotta lie here, you gotta lie there. He was lying everywhere. And I believe if this would have went to trial that very next day, if this would have went to trial, the whole corruption would have been exposed.
Not trial, but it had to went to the grand jury because the trial wasn't. There was no trial date or nothing like that. He had to be indicted first. So he's saying trial, but he mean if the whole thing had to go into the grand jury.
Tell me I'm lying, but I noticed something. That video I showed y'all at the beginning of this video, that news coverage I showed y'all, I noticed something. They said something so important. Run the tape.
Now, to be clear, the Harris County Sheriff's Office is investigating this through their homicide division. They did put out a statement saying they recovered a gun from inside Laci's car. They also say dash cam video shows Precinct 4 did not fire any shots after this chase was over. Right now, we're still working to clarify that also.
Now, she did stress that they said there were no shots fired after the chase was over. But like he said, were there shots fired during the chase by the police? Just asking.
Video shows Precinct 4 did not fire any shots after this chase was over. Right now, we're still working to clarify that also means no shots were fired before this chase ended. Shannon Ryan, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
Make that make sense. Why did she say not one time, but 2 times that the cops never fired back at Kyron Laci? She didn't say it once, she said it twice, just to make sure they cover their ass. But how we know that? She said it was investigation still going on. Well, where the results at? We have no results. We have no video footage. We have no body cam footage of that high-speed chase in Houston. We have nothing. All they showed us was a broken fence. All they showed us was a piece of his car laying on the ground. Where is the picture of his car? They showed us the picture from the other accident with the Marine in Louisiana, but why we never saw a picture of his car in Houston? Because they said he wrecked. They never showed us anything. And I sat back and I thought, why would I believe anything out of Houston PD or Harris County? Why would I believe them when they the same people when 13 bodies were found in the bayou every month, like 3 bodies being found in Houston, in Harris County, and no one knows anything? Why would I believe them? Yeah, all right. And look, if I sound crazy, if I don't make sense in my comment section, tell me I don't make sense. Now back to you, Tyler Warner, with your hating ass. Instead of you doing the right thing and charging the right person and not lying, you decided to ruin Kyron Laci's life. You decided to frame this man. You decided to lie on this man to the whole world. You lied on this man. You started all this bullshit, all because the only way you can feel like a football player, the only way you can feel special to your girl is on Halloween. Tell me I'm lying. But you see how the ancestors work? Everything is backfiring on you. Now you're about to lose your family. You're about to lose your wife. You're about to lose your finances. You're about to lose your home. Maybe even lose your freedom. Let me break it down to you. Listen up. And Tyler Warner, I'm talking directly to you. Next week, you getting fired. And all that money, all those pennies you worked for, you getting sued for. And then look, you only 25. That social media image you have is ruined. Wait, the same way you ruined Kyron Laci's image. Yeah, you see, you thought you could just move on with life. You thought you could have a baby, get married, go to parties, celebrate your birthday, go to football games. You thought you could do all this, win awards. You thought you could just move on with life and pretend like you didn't ruin Kyron Laci's life. Well, nope, you're about to go through everything Kyron Laci went through. And not just you, Brianna too, both of y'all. So to the both of y'all, welcome to hell on earth. And I hope y'all enjoy. I'm out.
Wow.
It's when the family feels.
All right, hold on. Now, this is another one of my favorite channels. How deep we are into this? Hold on. Oh, we're just at 1 hour and 37 minutes. Now, I think that I maybe want to do this last. Let's see. I think I want to do the families video last. We did that one already. Oh, sorry, y'all. Let's see. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some more clips. And then after these clips, I'm going to play The Family. That's the name of the channel. They have a video too as well, but we're gonna do that last. So I'm gonna skip this one because that's the video from the LSP, the Louisiana State Police. That's their video. We already saw that. Now I'm gonna play these clips, okay?
State Police dropped new video.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not gonna play that either because we already saw that. That's Matt Ory talking to this guy. If you want to see that video, what are you talking about, Melissa? You said Mine Too. What's that? Mine Too Truth? What do you mean, Melissa? If you want to see this, my reaction to this interview right here, I'll go back to Friday's content. I reacted to it in Friday's content. So let's go to the next one.
Advocates across the state.
All right, so these are just a bunch of clips that I have. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. And then after these clips, we're going to listen to the family. We're going to listen to their video.
Are calling for transparency. This comes after new video footage surfaced by Lacy's attorney, who claims the former LSU wide receiver was not involved in the crash. Now, multiple organizations are calling for an independent investigation into Louisiana State Police's handling of the case. News 10's Kai Price continues our team coverage.
As new developments arise in the Kyron Lacy case, multiple organizations are calling for an independent investigation into how Louisiana State Police handled the crash.
From the video that I witnessed, it was very transparent, and we have to be focused on transparency.
New video released by Lacy's attorney Matthew Ory claims the former LSU wide receiver had no involvement in the crash. The crash resulted in the death of 78-year-old Herman Hall, and Lacy being arrested and charged with negligent homicide. Lacy was later found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound in Houston in April. Since then, many organizations have requested public hearings into the actions of Louisiana State Police regarding the case. In fact, the Louisiana NAACP is now calling for the resignation of Colonel Robert Hodges. Selena Charles, founder of Purpose for the People, says the family deserves justice and accountability from troopers involved.
I feel like the family should be compensated, and the officer should be held accountable. This is a bigger issue that we're dealing with. We're not just dealing with Kyron Lacy issue. This is a cycle that needs to be broken.
Charles says her organization is also calling for state leaders like Governor Jeff Landry to speak out on the case. She says accountability should apply to everyone, including law enforcement.
We have to be law-abiding citizens, and I believe that they should also be law-abiding citizens. A position does not change the law. You are required to follow the law whether you're in position or you're a citizen.
Charles says her organization will hold an event on October 25th with Kyron Lacy's family to bring awareness to the case and push for justice. Kai Price, KLFY, News 10.
This is a developing story as the investigation into the deadly crash involving Kyron Lacy continues. We will be sure to update you on the case on our website, klfy.com.
Michael, Sylvia, Kyron Lacy's father, Kenny Lacy, said nothing will bring his son back to life. His attorney, Matt Ory, is calling for an independent investigation from the Attorney General's office to make sure something like this never happens again.
Kenny Lacy, joined by his attorney, Matt Ory, mourning the loss of his son, Kyron Lacy.
The people who judged him without knowing him.
Thank you, Ms. B.
I wish you could have met him. I promise, he would have changed your mind.
The appearance on after further review with Matt Moscona came hours after LSP released its own critical incident briefing video. Parts of the video were part of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's investigation, which Lacy's counsel released late last week, including this clip of Kyron Lacy's green Charger. Ory says the LSP video is misleading.
The sound on the video is not in unison with the actual action. I know that for a fact. That's in the district attorney's findings. I stated it. I read it from the district attorney's report today.
Not included in today's release, another video which Ory says includes a trooper telling a driver what to write in a report.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes, and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger, and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger.
Kenny says that video is something he has trouble accepting.
You can't reconcile it. You can't bring my son back. No reconciliation. None.
State Police maintains it followed the procedure and that its investigation is supported by facts, like Kyron Lacy passed in a no-passing zone and traveling at a high speed.
He always said from the start that Kyron did pass cars when he shouldn't have been passing cars. But it also showed him after he passed those cars getting back in his lane.
I told you he was going in excess of 80. I told you he passed 4 cars. I told you the witness that came in and said the green Charger also stated that he was the one who went in between the two. I told you that. Why is this a surprise?
Ori said Kyron's little brother was in the car at the time of the incident, but was not questioned. In the briefing video, LSP says Kyron's first outgoing call was to a personal
Now, wait a
injury.
minute. That's something I did not know. That is something that I did not know. She just said that Kyron's little brother was in the car. I didn't know that. I don't think I ever heard that back when we was initially reacting. Now, why wouldn't they interview the little brother? The little brother can tell them that he didn't. I did not know that. I'm going to back it up so y'all can hear that in case you missed it. That his little brother was in the car. I didn't know that.
Time of the incident, but was not questioned. In the briefing video, LSP says Kyron's first outgoing call was...
Now, this makes sense.
I told you the witness.
Now, listen, people. Oh, my God. It's when you keep listening is when you find out shit. Now, remember they stated that Kyron's first call after his first call that he made after this accident happened was to a lawyer. Now, we learned Friday, because I just learned that Friday, that the lawyer that he called was his little brother's dad. Which, if his little brother was in the car, it makes sense that he would be calling him, because it could have been a random call, like, I'm on my way with, bro, or this, that, and the third. So now, when it was made to seem like Kyron was calling the lawyer because he caused this accident, that's not the case. So one of Kyron's first calls after this so-called accident happened was to a lawyer. We now know that the lawyer was his younger son's dad, and we now know that his brother was in the car with him. Let's listen.
So came in and said the green Charger also stated that he was the one who went in between the two. I told you that. Why is this a surprise?
Ori said Kyron's little brother was in the car at the time of the incident, but was not questioned. In the briefing video, LSP says Kyron's first outgoing call was to a personal injury and defense attorney. Kenny says there's a reason for that.
A few minutes after this incident, that it was President Kyron called an attorney. What you're saying is that was his stepdad.
Family. He talks to all the time.
He calls him all the time.
Ori believes LSP should release all files related to the crash.
They want the whole file to come out. Be my guest. It doesn't matter to me. You could dump the whole file out tomorrow, but let them be the ones to do it.
Kenny says, even in his son's last days, he had compassion for others.
He wasn't a bad person. Before Kyron left here, he told me how bad he felt for the Hall family. All that he was going through, he still felt for that man's family.
We did ask Lacey and Ori if they want to speak after the radio show. Ori declined. In the newsroom, Sarah Gray Bart, WBRZ News 2.
Kyron Lacy was supposed to be in the NFL. Kyron Lacy was accused of something.
So this is another video, y'all. Ms. B, where do you see Money Boy Trey at? I'm just curious. That I'm not seeing comments, or you see something I don't see. Because Money Boy Trey's not in this live. This next video is Ryan Clark sets the record straight about tragic death of college football star. Okay. Let's listen.
Investigated for something that he didn't do, and he died having to live with the guilt and the consequences of a guilty man knowing he was innocent. It recently was discovered that he was 72 yards away from the crash, that police and state policemen tried to coerce and doctor and use ways to manipulate statements that put this young man behind bars. They changed his joy, they changed his life, and eventually he took his own life. This was supposed to be a career, but at least he was supposed to be here. At some point throughout his career, I would expect to have said his name. So I'm gonna say his name tonight. Amen. Kyron Lacy was innocent. Kyron Lacy should be here with us. Nothing will ever repair or replace the pain that his parents have to feel and his loved ones have to feel. But we could say his name. There were so many stations that ran the fact that he was being investigated. So I wanted to make sure here with Scott, we could say that he was an innocent man and at least know that he has that as he rests.
You and I talked about this earlier tonight, and I'll just share with them what I share with you. I can't recall ever seeing something that made me react viscerally to the point that I felt like my hands were trembling to think that there's video that shows that this is not at all what happened.
Ryan Clark of ESPN, formerly of the NFL and the LSU football program, spoke on the tragedy of Kyren Lacy. Lots of reactions here, and unfortunately, they were negative. Very, very, very negative. Let's start here. Jack Mack, of no surprise, Barstool Sports, tweeted, Kyren Lacy is wanted on homicide charges. I tweet out a photo of Kyren Lacy pretending to shoot somebody, and I'm called a racist. All you can do is laugh. He would even reply to a tweet stating, maybe, just maybe, he's not a good guy. Now, for those unaware, Kyren Lacy was Louisiana State University's leading receiver.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. Okay. Yeah, I started it. Maybe I should finish it. Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't know if I want to finish this one. Hold on. I think I just wanted to play that first part. All right, so let's move on. I don't know that person. Let's see. NFL vets and former LSU star go off on Kyren Lacy tragedy and false police.
I want to get this off my chest because it's something that's close to home for me. This whole situation.
The name of this channel is called Raw Room, and I'm gonna share it out on my community wall.
Unfolding the news that's coming out, from.
I understand, L Boogie. I do. I get it. And thank you for joining as long as you did. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, L Boogie. I'll see you later.
From Kyren Lacy's lawyer and the information, that's coming out with that case and the videos being released, and it's been a lot of conversation about it. Of course,
see, these right here I wanted to react to on a different live, like the sit down. So I'm gonna go past that. I just wanted to play clips today because there are videos that I want to react to that's actually sit down conversations, and we'll get to those later. Let's see. Let's listen to this one.
Okay, so that didn't take long. Ryan Clark followed Q after Pat McAfee and Scott Van Pelt's apology, and just this morning on First Take, issued his third apology for 2025. Also, to those who went at me for my video the other day, where I changed my opinion like many others for believing Kyren Lacy was at least partially at fault for the accident after reviewing the police body cam footage, I hope you have that same energy for Ryan Clark, but something tells me many of you won't. Anyways, here's Ryan Clark's apology following his Monday Night Football tribute.
To Ryan Clark. Yeah. So I've never really had much trouble expressing anything. This has been more difficult because I know that people are hurting. Right? 2 lives have been lost. Herman Hall, a man who spent his life in service of other, and Kyren Lacy. He's just a young man who I wish I could tell how much he had to live for. My heart absolutely breaks for both of them, their families, and their loved ones. On Monday night's Sports Center, I addressed the horrific car crash that took Mr. Hall's life, and also the subsequent tragic events that led to the death of Kyren Lacy. In full transparency, y'all, I knew Kyren Lacy personally, but nothing matters to me more than the truth. I always strive to do my best to mix authenticity with the most complete and up-to-date information available. I failed to do that on Monday night based on the subsequent evidence that has been released by the Louisiana State Police Department. I set the highest standards of fairness and, most importantly, righteousness in my work. I didn't meet that standard. But since I've spoken to Kyren's representation at length, and I've also reached out to a representative at the state police office just to have a conversation. They informed me this morning that because it's ongoing litigation, they actually can't divulge anything else. It's always important to me that I gather all factual and important information to provide the complete story. That's a responsibility that I do not take lightly. And when discussed in real time on Monday evening, I failed to do so. And for that, I apologize.
Okay, so there you have it. Ryan Clark's apology following what I assume is, pressure from the brasses up
A lot
top.
of people did that. It takes a big man to come out and apologize, though. Okay, let's go to this one.
What happened in the crash that led to Kyren Lacy's arrest depends on who you ask. I obtained Kyren Lacy's case file from the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. In it, the DA lays out several inconsistencies that they say are in LSP's report. First, this video that LSP used for their report and recently posted for the public. The DA says the audio in the video isn't properly synced, which, quote, would make it appear that Lacy is in closer proximity to the crash. LSP's report says the Kia Cadenza was facing an imminent head-on crash after the gold truck swerved, but the DA says that's incorrect. The DA's report says Lacy was back in his correct lane 1 second before the crash, and the two cars were 361 feet apart.
The DA says, should it have been a passing zone, Laci, quote, would have been back into his lane with 3 times the required distance and would not have been responsible for any crash. The DA also finds issue with witness statements, saying verbal statements made by a witness to a trooper do not match the written statement. And, quote, the trooper tells her what to document on the statement as she's writing. Ultimately, the DA says the driver of the cadenza was, quote, following too close, which caused her to take evasive action to avoid hitting the back of the gold truck. And evidence shows Laci wouldn't have known he caused the crash. Still, LSP is standing by their report.
Louisiana State Police stands by their fatality crash investigation. In the course of that investigation,
while the evidence is now in the court of public opinion, it never made it to a jury. And with witness statements that seemingly don't add up, Laci's family is still searching for the truth. Something his dad grieved on the sports podcast after further review on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
No reconciliation. I'm never gonna see my child again. Ever. Ever.
He looked just like his dad.
So it's no reconciliation. We just want justice. That's it.
Promising to still fight for justice. Alyssa Curtis, WWL, Louisiana.
Laci's case was set to go to the grand jury. The grand jury could have chosen to accept the charges, deny them, or choose lesser charges.
So a local prosecutor in Louisiana is now disputing claims.
All right, so the name of this one is Prosecutor Disputes. Prosecutor disputes police claims about fatal crash that led to Kyron Laci's arrest. I think this is the last clip before we actually get into the video from the family. All right, let's listen.
By state police about that deadly crash that led to the arrest of college football star Kyron Laci. The Lafourche Parish DA says that the police probe had several inconsistencies and is questioning how it betrayed the LSU wide receiver's actions. Well, earlier this week, state police released this new surveillance video, which they say shows Laci speeding in the wrong lane and passing 4 cars moments before the wreck. Police concluded that Laci caused the crash because another car swerved into oncoming traffic. The one-time NFL prospect was days from going before a grand jury in April when police in Texas say he died by suicide. Laci's lawyer claiming the week that the new video shows he wasn't close enough to cause the wreck. Joining me now, investigative reporter Olivia Rubin, also legal contributor Brian Buckmeyer. So, Olivia, what more are we hearing from the DA's office?
Well, Gary, you're talking about those inconsistencies that were in the state police's report and their conclusion that ultimately led them to believe that Laci did cause this crash. But because of those inconsistencies that the DA is talking about, this all really raises questions about whether he really was the one that caused the crash. First, what this DA report is saying is that while Laci was speeding and was in the wrong lane, he was back in a correct lane well before this crash occurred. That's how the DA's report is framing this. They're also saying that had this been a legal area where you could pass other cars, he would have been back in the correct lane 3 times before, with 3 times the amount of allotted space that would have been needed and that would have been legal had this been a legal area to pass. They're also raising questions about those cars that did swerve and ultimately caused that fatal car crash. Remember, there is a truck, Kira, and there is a car behind the truck. And originally, police had said that the car behind the truck swerved to avoid Laci's incoming car. But now this DA's report is saying that that car was way too close to the truck that was in front of it, and that in reality, it could have been swerving to avoid the truck that was in front of it, not to avoid Laci's car. And then there's also being questions raised, Kira, about the charges here. One of the charges that police were going to pursue was that felony hit and run, raising the fact that Laci didn't stay on scene, that he didn't call 911 to try to help what had gone on here. But now, Kira, this report saying Laci might not have known at all that he was involved in this crash, and that's why he left, because he just simply wasn't close enough to know that this was something that he could have had an impact on. And that echoes what his attorney has said publicly, which is that Laci left because he had no idea that he had caused this crash. Remember, his car wasn't actually involved in the crash there. So a lot of questions raised here, Kira.
So, Brian, explain to us how and why state police and the local DA might draw different conclusions here.
Just take everything that Olivia eloquently laid out for us, right? And then put it into the framework of this. We're talking about felony negligent homicide. And what that means is you're not accusing Laci of being the sole contributor to the accident, but a substantial or a substantial one. Let's leave it at that, right? And so we can argue, okay, did he get back into the lane soon enough? Did the other driver see him? Did the gold truck have the opportunity to move? What is substantial? What level of responsibility does Laci have towards this? And then taking the inconsistencies, you could see how 2 people of a reasonable mind would say, okay, Laci was substantial enough in contributing to this homicide, even though he was not very close. And another reasonable mind saying, no, he was too far away. He was back in the lane, and this person might have turned for another reason. So it's trying to figure out what is substantial and what is not in this argument.
So, Brian, Olivia, we'll track it. Thank you.
All right. So we're going to go back. to this video.
Where's when the family feels?
React to today. Oh shoot, what did I do?
In a statement, the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Where's when the family feels?
Oh shoot, I keep doing it, y'all. I think
In a statement, the Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Where's when the family feels?
Here we go. All right, so we're gonna go back. This is gonna be the last video reaction that we do today. And before we do this, I'm gonna pause for a minute. I'll be right back, y'all. Give me about a minute, and I'll be right back. Let me run to the kitchen. I'll be right back. Hold on. All right, y'all, give me a second. I'll be right back. All right, y'all, I'm back. All right, let's hit play. Now, this video is entitled "The Lie That Killed Him: Cop and Female Killer Exposed in LSU Star's Death." The name of this channel is The Family. I'm going to share this video out on my community while y'all go over and check them out. I've reacted to several videos from this channel. I love this channel too as well. So here we go, y'all.
Nussmeier will throw quickly, and that's Kyren Lacy, first play of. That's on a little half roll. He'll fire again, and Lacy, I think he got a foot. Lacy in motion. Nussmeier looking that way. Now on the wheel, throws it up. Lacy caught it. Did he get it?
Hey, come on, back line. Fuck on that. Block, back on me. Backs. Come on, man. Don't let it back, man. Yeah. Wide receiver type shit. I'm going back line. I ain't done anything, bitch. What's down, BT, baby? What's down, BT, baby? Hey, down. What's down? Come on, man. Hey. Come on, man. That's fucking game. That's fucking game. What's down, Dante, bitch? Come on, man. It's game. That's fucking. What up? Pop it. Pop. Come on, man. Pop it. Let's start.
I'll never forget my life, man. That was just amazing, man. That's what you come to LSU for, man. For all those younger recruits, man, this is what you come to LSU for. Big games like this, you're going to get an opportunity to play at the highest level, play against some great teams. Come on, man. It's nothing better than this. For all my young receivers, wide receiver type shit, man. So 5 catches, 111 yards, and a game-winning touchdown. He balled out.
Breaking news before we go, we just learned that former LSU wide receiver Kyren Lacy has died.
Fam, it's hard going over some of these stories. More than often, you find yourself putting yourself in these shoes of the victims. Because truth be told, they could be me or you. Knowing we living in an imperfect world, sometimes we can only bank on justice. But just like anything else in life, nothing is perfect, including our Justice Department and our enforcement on laws. Now, there's been some breaking news within the last 72 hours of a star football player who recently took his life earlier this year. But it wasn't for nothing. You're talking about a man who was judged by the public before he even had a jury. A young man that worked his whole life towards one craft and put himself in position to possibly be drafted. And after knowing you didn't do nothing, but get everything stripped away from you, publicly and behind closed doors, all for a lie, some might say that's enough to do the unthinkable. Now today we go over the facts that a lawyer who was representing this young star football player, who we'll briefly discuss once again, has still managed to keep his word by defending this young man even though he's no longer living on this earth, not only for his name, but his reputation, and for possibly others who could be put in this situation. So since this information has been presented to the public, let's just say the Family TV wanted to do as much as possible to bring this to you you guys attention in chronological order while presenting the facts. And that's what I plan on doing here today. So without wasting too much time on this intro, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to jump right to it. 5 months ago, we did a story on a star LSU wide receiver who went by the name of Kyren Lacy. Of course, I'll leave the link in the bio. But in that video, we disclose on the public information on how he allegedly lost his life while on the highway. Now, we'll briefly get confirmation on what truly took place and why from his attorney in this video. We also disclose how he transferred to LSU, his upbringing, and what was the charges to his case. Now, since Lacy had lost his life, may he rest in peace, his attorney and his staff still been working day and night to fight to clear his name and for justice. Now, since his demise, a lot of things has come to light. Like the alleged perpetrator, she's been identified, her statement to authorities, and a local officer who seemed to have coerced this young lady and a witness into making these statements. Now, we'll later disclose their identity, but one of the biggest takeaways that I want us to get from this video is the district attorney's office investigation. Besides the body cam footage, this information allowed Lacy's attorney to compare and contrast during his interview with the local authorities' investigation. Now, to get us all caught up, Lacy was under investigation in Louisiana in connection with the crash in December of 2024 that left a 78-year-old man identified as Herman Hall, a veteran, also a passenger in the crash, had lost his life. May he rest in peace. Officials said in January, Lacy was accused of driving recklessly, speeding and passing a no passing zone when the motorist swerved to avoid Lacy and crashed into another vehicle. But in a recent interview with HTV10, Lacy's attorney Matthew provided video that appears to show Lacy's vehicle well behind the crash and that he was more than 200 feet away from the cars upon impact.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Martin False, and if you recall, months ago, I had attorney Matt Ory on our program to talk about Kyren Lacy's involvement or non-involvement in a wreck that took place, which took the life of a very popular man, Mr. Hall, and it was well documented, went national. It was talked about.
The video kind of low, y'all. I apologize, but it's on their end. It's kind of low.
All over the nation. So I did tell Mr. Ory back then, and I also tell everyone involved in this, whether you're an attorney or whether you're part of the investigation, you're always welcome to tell your story on HTV. So I told Mr. Ory, if you have anything to add to the story at any point, please give me a holler and we'll get you on. So joining me now is Matt Ory, attorney, and good to see you, Matt. Thank you for coming.
Good to see you, Martin. Thank you for having me.
Did you compile anything new?
I've got everything. I've got every piece of evidence I have viewed. I've examined every piece of evidence, which includes all surveillance, all body cam footage, and most importantly, the investigative report that was generated and manufactured by the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office, according to the data that they obtained.
In that report, which is independent of you, you know, when I was going through it and looking at some of these things in it, I think you'll probably go over where they were, because I see you brought a board where you're going to depict where all of them were during the incident, and you have all that information to sort of explain where everyone was at, how fast they were going, what they were doing, all of that.
I do. I've got it all here.
Okay. So most of this reports, or do you have actual video?
At the entirety of the district attorney's findings, their findings after their own investigation. That's what we're here today to present. We're going to compare and contrast those findings with the findings of state police, because there's a ton of confusion. People seem to believe that somehow he hit someone in this accident, or possibly even shot through 2 cars and there was this explosion behind him. I've heard every version possible, but we can show you the version right now.
Okay. Sort of describe the video for our audience, what you've seen in the video.
Yeah, so what you'll see is in the top left of the screen, you're going to see multiple cars just making their way south to Thibodaux, coming from Vacherie. At some point in time, you're going to see the collision, which we're going to know is vehicle number 2 from oncoming traffic colliding with the vehicle of Mr. Hall. You will see another vehicle come to a stop, and then you'll see Kyren Lacy come to a stop.
So as we've seen the video, it looks like the impact happens, and then Kyren Lacy is behind him. How far away was he from there?
Well, yeah, that's the beauty of the investigative report that I now have my hands on. We know from data that Kyren Lacy did, in fact, pass 4 cars. There's no disputing that. Further north, Kyren Lacy passed 4 cars. However, he was back in his lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Back in his lane, behind Mr. Hall. At the time of impact, he's 72.6 yards behind the vehicles at the time of impact. Keyword, behind the vehicles. That is not how this story was ever painted. Never.
Any part of the district attorney's investigation that talked about Mr. Lacy getting back, I guess we call it, what do you call it, correcting or getting in your proper lane?
Sure, he was back in his proper lane according to their data. This isn't my expert. This is the investigation of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office. So I'm here simply comparing and contrasting the District Attorney's Office with state police in this matter, their investigations. And in that investigation, it shows that he was back in his correct lane of travel, 92.3 yards. Before this incident occurred, he was back in his lane.
What is the legal law state about where you should be behind? Or I want to say I thought it was 100 feet. Is that correct?
It is correct. You know, take out the fact here that it's a no passing zone. If it weren't at this time, it's 100 feet. What we know now is he was 3 times legally what he needed to be back in his lane of traffic.
Where was everybody involved in this? And I see you brought something that you could visibly show everybody.
Yeah, I mean, like I stated, if we're looking at this, and of course this isn't to scale, and I can't draw, but what you see here is vehicle 3. That is Mr. Hall's vehicle. This is another vehicle between Mr. Lacy and Mr. Hall.
Okay.
This is the gold truck that's referenced in the report. This is heading north. So this is the lead vehicle heading north. And the vehicle that actually collided with Mr. Hall's vehicle, that would be vehicle 2. All right. So through the course of this, now we start investigating and dissecting everything we possibly can. When we do that, we start with vehicle 2, right? So what do I know now about vehicle 2? Vehicle 2 was tailgating, all right? According to the data, again, of the district attorney's office, not me, according to their data, tailgating at 49.6 miles an hour, 0.5 seconds behind the gold truck, 1.5 seconds before the crash. So again, if that did make sense, she is following 0.5 seconds behind this vehicle, 0.5 seconds behind that vehicle, 1.5 seconds before the crash at over 49 miles an hour. 0.5.
Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. So now what we're looking at, this isn't speculation. Through this, we hear there's story after story. Actually, vehicle 2's story got bigger and bigger and bigger until we now have their data, right? So when we get our hands on it, I'm looking at the data from that particular vehicle. That data in that vehicle shows me 5 seconds previous to this crash. 5. I'm looking at it, and you're going to show it. 5 seconds previous to this crash, she maintained a speed of 49.6 miles an hour, never activating the EBS system until 0.5 seconds before the crash. Why is that important? Because if your story, which we'll get into, keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you had all this time to see the gold truck, in her words, stomp on their brakes, slam on their brakes, come to a stop, veer off the road. I see another vehicle approaching. I see the Charger approaching. Well, my question to you now becomes, how did you see that vehicle approaching, or him stop, or him slam on his brakes, yet your data says you never touched your brake prior to 0.5 seconds before that crash? I'm looking right now, so are you, at the last 5 seconds, according to her. Her car's black box, not mine, not my expert. That's her car. So if you're going to tell me a 5 to 10 second elaborate story, it needs to make sense. And when you have the data, not only doesn't it add up, it's not possible. Notice on there, Martin, it says 75 degrees, right? You turn 75 degrees to the left all of a sudden. That's what happens when you tailgate. Now, interestingly enough, this vehicle was actually, when this woman was in the ambulance, they issued her a ticket, all right? You know for what? Take a wild guess. Following too close. Data from the district attorney's office tells me you're traveling 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour, 1.5 seconds before the accident. That's not tailgating? That's not following?
You have to explain to me why, if they believe that this woman didn't swerve to avoid hitting the car in front of her, and she swerved because of Kyron, you have to explain to me why they issue her a ticket for following too close. If in that moment, at that time of that crash, that they felt like this woman was right in what she did and she swerved to avoid Kyron, why did she get a ticket for following too close to another vehicle? And then you got the cop on video telling the driver of the truck that was in front of her, say you had to slam on your brakes, say you had to stop abruptly to make it right that this woman swerved and caused this accident. But yet, you gave her a ticket. I'm gonna continue playing. I don't know how much of this interview it looked like he Well, damn, it looked like he planned the whole interview. So this is good. This is good. This is actually the interview. So I don't have to, because I don't have to play the one that I have, because this is what I have. So let's continue to listen.
Too close? Of course it is. Ticket was taken away.
I'm looking at the data and I'm learning some new things here. So the 75, the steering input at 75 to the left.
That's correct.
Indicate that, I would guess 75 on a scale of 100. That's a pretty hard turn to the left.
It's a very hard turn to the left. The Gold truck, the lead vehicle in oncoming traffic, who, by the way, is probably one of the two most important witnesses in this entire case. We know now that 2.99 seconds prior to him pulling off the road, he was traveling 28 miles an hour. 28 miles an hour. Now, you're going to hear his statement in a little while, and it's going to all make sense. But let's be very clear right now for the intent and purposes of what we're doing. There are two vehicles that we're talking about right now that are traveling north. The second vehicle in oncoming traffic, which is vehicle 2, their data says she is tailgating. She is 0.5 seconds at 49.6 miles an hour. 1.5 seconds before the crash. And you saw her data, 50.3 to 49.6.
Yeah, so she stayed at 49.6 until 0.5 seconds, and then...
There's a variation of less than a mile per hour.
Yeah.
It's 0.7, I believe.
Right. Did she give any police report or anything?
Oh, absolutely. So...
Let's talk about that a little
Yeah,
bit.
we will. This particular individual, and for purposes of this report, I'd like you more, and this is page 9, if you could follow along to make sure I'm not misquoting a single thing.
All right.
All right, I'm looking at the investigative report of the district attorney's office.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you can see this is their investigator looking at vehicle 2 statements, and now he's analyzing. He says, upon reviewing the body cam video of the trooper from the scene, the following statement was made by, we'll call her vehicle 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just know the truck was stomping on brakes. The other was trying to pass the other car. I was trying to dodge by not hitting him, by coming around. When the trooper asked how fast she was going, she replied the speed limit. He next says, I reviewed the recorded interview and the written statement from vehicle 2 while she was in the hospital on January 3rd, 2025. Below is a synopsis of that interview. And the very first, it says, all I can see is that a car is coming this way and the car in front of me. Right before the crash. I'm looking at the pickup truck in front of me. That's all they see for the moment. I'm eating my Funyuns. I got in the middle of my lap and I'm driving. I'm listening to my music. All of a sudden, I see the car get in the other person's lane. The truck, in quote, steps on his brakes. First, so it slows down, but then he does it again, and this time it's really hard. That's when you can see on the other side, the car is trying to get back over. But before he can get over, the truck stops in the middle, like on the brakes, hard. There's another car that runs damn near into the pole. It's either I run into him or I try to get out the way, so I'm trying to get to the dollar store parking lot. Then the other car just comes and slams into me. The trooper asked vehicle 2, whenever you're looking forward, or the cars in front of you, they swerve off to the right before you make your left, or are you looking at a green Charger coming at you? Or, in end of quotes. Vehicle 2 responded with, the green Charger came, and then the car behind me, behind them, the truck, the van, whatever. The trooper does not ask any further follow-up questions to get a better understanding of what she was saying for this answer. Now remember, I'm reading what the investigator's saying. Mm-hmm. When vehicle 2 states the truck stops in the middle of the road like on the brakes hard, this statement indicates that the Gold truck stopped in the middle of the lane and not, in quotes, swerving off to the right. This would also show that vehicle 2 would have steered to the left to avoid contact with the Gold truck and not Kyron Lacey. During this interview with the trooper, vehicle 2 made several statements that do not match the submitted report or written statement. Instead of questioning vehicle 2 for more details, the trooper attempted to recap what she was saying, which seems to contradict her statements. While doing this, the trooper is the first to talk about the Gold truck swerving off to the right. Then when it came to obtaining the written statement, the trooper tells vehicle 2 what to document on the statement as she is writing.
I have two questions here. One, I'd like to know more about the statement that she made to the trooper. The other one would be, do we have any data on the Gold truck?
2.99 seconds before the Gold truck eases off to the road, eases off of the road.
Right.
He's traveling at 28 miles an hour.
Right.
That all is in this report.
Yeah, that's my question.
You watch someone slam on their brakes. You watch them stop. You watch the car chart coming at you in your lane of traffic, but you never thought to just tap the brakes? Really? No. Data is accurate. The black box is accurate. That says that you never touch your brakes. You never touch your brakes in the last 5 seconds until 0.5 seconds before the impact.
As the attorney said, that's never how the story was painted. But it get deeper. He disclosed more information, like the body cam footage from the officer receiving a statement from the man who allegedly stumped his brakes, and the statement from driver number 2, the woman who said that because Lacey was coming in the opposite direction to avoid hitting him, she had to swerve, which caused the crash. But according to the district attorney findings, That wasn't the case. Now, before I let you hear what the district attorney findings was and what the attorney had to say alongside the body cam footage, let's identify who allegedly is driver number 2 and who allegedly the officer was who received the statement. Now, driver 2 was allegedly Brianna Imani Gray. And according to public records from taxpaying citizens, the officer is allegedly Tyler Warner. Since being identified on social media, they disabled their accounts. But it wasn't before some people was able to get some screenshots. And let's just say out the gate, from the outside looking in, it seemed they allegedly been living a life since that accident with no care in the world. Now, as you look at this next clip, notice in the body cam footage, an officer is talking to a man in the truck who claimed that the driver of vehicle 2 caused the crash, despite police telling the man to write down specifics regarding Laci in his statement, which was ultimately refused.
That's their data. It's not mine.
Proceed. What did you find out after that?
So what I was curious about here, most importantly to me, in terms of the oncoming traffic, right? So I'm looking at that gold truck. I want to know what they said, when they said it, what were the circumstances, how did this come about? And this is where it really starts tying together, right? The gold truck, they end up getting a statement from this individual. There's 2 of them. The very first one, what I noticed on the body cam was that the conversation was going on for 4 minutes and approximately 30 seconds prior to the body cam being activated. And of course, when the body cam's activated, I don't know what you said those previous 4.5 minutes, they end up at this individual's house to obtain a statement. I want to play right now how that statement started.
Okay, let's roll that in.
All right, sir. So, look, don't worry about filling any of this top information, like your name, address. Don't worry about any of that. Just right here, if you could, I'll just have you write exactly what you saw. Just make sure to include, where you were.
I don't even know what the name of that highway.
So it's Highway 20. Highway 20. That you just.
All right, maybe my wife gonna fill out right.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wouldn't even gone for it. That lady in the back of me, she ain't always had me. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's not in it.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, the head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that, and that's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here.
In that video, you can clearly hear the suggestive nature indicating that I need you to say that you had to slam on your brakes and you had to avoid a charger.
Okay, just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
But then you hear Gold Truck, the witness who's the Gold Truck, what he says. And he says verbatim.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wouldn't even gone for it. That lady in the back of me, she ain't always had me. And that's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And that's not in it.
I didn't skid marked. Or
right there, he said she caused that accident instead of running in the back of me. Y'all heard that? He said instead of running into the back of me, she pulled over to the other. I don't understand these people and how they think they can get away with shit like this. That man is basically saying, look, that woman caused that accident because she was trying to avoid hitting me. And in essence, she hit another car. All right, y'all, let's keep listening.
nothing, because I wasn't even going that fast. That lady in the back of me, she didn't see what's happening. That's how she caused that wreck. She was going to run into the back of me, and she pulled into the other side. But there's a bigger problem. I then obtained the actual written statement.
And this is from the gold truck.
This is the gold truck. Now, after the statement we just went through, notice, I've obviously redacted names, addresses, and the cell phone number, in fairness to the individual who is gold truck number one in oncoming traffic. See, the problem with that statement is, it is in direct contravention to what was said minutes earlier. It's not written by him, and where it says signed, it's not signed, it's refused. But you see, when I have a...
The statement was not written by that man, and whoever wrote that statement and whatever they said, He refused to sign it. Why?
Witness who is the most critical. And he's telling you, I wasn't traveling fast. We know now that he wasn't. The data shows 2.99 seconds before that he was traveling 28 miles an hour. The data shows that. Now he corroborates that. And he goes on to say, I didn't even make a skid mark. That woman behind me, she caused that accident. And you give me this statement that is refused? I got a problem. I got a problem with that, a big one. What he's saying is she had to avoid hitting him. He specifically stated she caused that accident, but I've got an affidavit for arrest warrant right here. Nowhere in here does it say anything that you guys just saw on body cam. To the contrary, about that vehicle, it says the Gold truck took evasive action by emergency braking and driving off the roadway to avoid a head-on crash. But you just heard he said, I wasn't even going fast. I didn't even skid mark. So what emergency braking are we referring to here? And what the hell was the point of this report? That is complete opposite. I would expect that you'll show this to where they can read what was said versus what was written just minutes earlier.
And just make sure you add in there that you had to slam on your brakes and the brakes, like, you know, you had to slam on the brakes to avoid that charger and the brakes locked up to avoid that charger. That's.
I ain't skid mark or nothing. I wouldn't even gone for it. That lady in the back of me, she didn't know what was happening. That's how she called that record. She was running in the back of me. She pulled on the other side. And I didn't.
So, but the charger was coming right at you, correct? And that's why you had to slam on your brake, head on with you. So yeah, just make sure you include that in. That's very important because we're trying to locate this charger right now. So.
Hold on, let me see if we can read this because this is the one he refused to sign. Let's read it. Highway 20 green Charger coming head on, passing multiple cars. Coming head on, I had to slam on brakes to avoid accident. I had to veer off road to avoid getting hit. Then I stopped to check on the cars behind me in wreck. I was traveling north. The Charger was traveling south in wrong line. See, this don't even sound like. First of all, this is this is bogus. This is bogus. This was written by somebody other than that man. Listen to that man talk. Listen to the way he speaks, and look at this report. And then too, let me tell you what multiple cars sound like to me. He ain't wrote in no report no multiple cars. He may say more than one car, but multiple cars sound like cop talk to me. I don't know if y'all agree with me or not. Y'all let me know in the chat. And then by it being shorthand, if anybody's familiar with shorthand, this is basically shorthand. This is not written by that man. Highway 20 green Charger coming head on. Highway 20 green coming head on is not civilian talk. That is cop talk, people. This is why I am so are we reading this? Highway 20 green Charger coming head on. That is cop talk. Passing multiple cars coming head on. I had to slam on brakes to avoid accident. I had to veer off road to avoid getting hit. Then I stopped to check on the car. And then look, let me explain to you how people try to be deceptive. If you look at this handwriting, I'm not a handwriting expert. I've studied it in school. I want y'all to pay attention to how the writing in the first 1, 2, 3, 4 lines is different from the writing in that 5th line. And then it goes back to the original writing in the 6th and 7th line. Huh? Are y'all seeing what I'm saying? Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. All the same writing. Line 5, totally different. Line 6 and 7, back to the original writing. Let's continue to listen.
We'll just include that in the statement, and I'll read it over, and then I'll be out of here. Okay?
By the way, the body cam wasn't on for this statement. It was turned off before obtaining this statement. And this is what we get back in a file. This. Remember, Kyron passed. I'll just put X's. This is where Kyron passed, right? He comes here, he passes. He gets back in his lane. Don't you know that one of these witnesses that's in this package actually says in his statement that the Charger passed through the vehicle of Mr. Hall and the gold truck and vehicle 2, and then they collided. I can't make this up.
That lying-ass truck driver said that. That lying-ass truck driver told that lie. Told that lie. Was his hating, lying ass. We watched him. That lying-ass truck driver actually said that Kyron's car went in between those two vehicles, and after he did that, they collided, which was an absolute lie. Where the fuck is he? Is he going to be charged for giving a false statement to the cops? Because it was false. That was an absolute lie. Hey, yours truly.
This is what people just don't get to see. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying this intentional. I'm saying people commit to a story and they don't back down. You saw it here, but I'm telling you, you guys saw a video. You just saw a statement where somebody tells them what to say. They tell them that's not what happened. They still give me the statement. And now I got another individual who we won't harp into here because it's so uncredible, right? That one individual, one of the 4 individuals here, they say that they were going 30 to 35 miles an hour when Kyron passed him. He did. There's no disputing that. No one ever did, but he was back in his lane of travel. 92.3 yards back in. 72.6 at the time of impact. When they collide, he is 72.6. Before they collide, he is almost a football field away back in his lane. That's not disputed. What you can see is another car come to a stop, and then Kyron Lacy come to a stop. But you know what's really interesting to me as well is that there was another passenger in Kyron Lacy's car. They knew this. They have video footage of this individual getting out of the car. Why didn't you ascertain his identity? Why would you not want to hear the person with one of the best views of the...
Why? Why didn't they interview his brother? Why didn't they interview his brother? He was in the car. Why didn't they interview him? Wow.
This incident. Why would you make a call? Why would you simply not bring him in for questioning?
And I'm sure you talked to him after?
Of course I talked to him after. That's exactly what they said. Yeah. It's exactly what they said. Mm-hmm. They actually thought at one point in time that she collided with the gold truck. That's the very first thing they told me, that they thought that this vehicle 2, was trying to get around the two, as in slide between them, as in, uh-oh. You know, so you can see why. This is just amazing now, what I know, and there's so much more. We've spent hours and hours and hours scouring, but I don't know how else to tell anybody else that this is not mine. I didn't generate this. I didn't manipulate this. I didn't alter it. I didn't manufacture it. I received it from the district attorney's office. I then did my job, and I compare it to the report and the investigation of state police, and it is drastic. It's drastic. The very last line of the report from the district attorney's office says, the evidence submitted in the crash report does not support that Kyron Lacy should have known that his actions were the cause of the crash that happened approximately 72 yards in front of him. And what we know is we never disputed ever that he passed those vehicles. They were in a row, 4 vehicles in a row. We know they were going 30 to 35 miles an hour. He passed them. It was a no passing zone, but he got back in 92.3 yards. He was back in his lane of travel. He was 72 yards behind at the time of impact. We know that now. He was actually the second car to pull up behind, not even the first. At no point in time did he have to slam his brakes. He wasn't even close to the second car. He just eased in. He eased in. He went straight from there to the facility in Schriever for his football practice. But he had no idea he caused this accident because he didn't think he caused the accident. He didn't cause the accident.
When did you get knowledge of it? When did you first get on the case itself? When were you notified?
Weeks after. Remember, from the time of this investigation to when a warrant was executed, there were weeks apart, right? And then I get involved after that. Mm-hmm. By the time I get involved, he's already charged with this. So that's a circumstance that I inherit.
Right.
But, you know, you hear things, you keep your eyes open, you keep your ears open, and you listen, and something wasn't passing the litmus test here. So, you know, when you look back on this and you see actual data, it's not mine, that shows these types of things, and you go as far as a witness saying he slipped between two vehicles and then there was the spontaneous combustion, it truly should open some eyes, right? That is not even close to what happened.
As you started your discussion with Kyron Lacy, and look, once again, we'll talk about Mr. Hall later in the program because we're not avoiding talking about a veteran, but I want to stay on point here just for a second. When you're talking to Kyron Lacy and he's saying, Matt, I wasn't involved in this. What was his mindset like at the time?
It's horrible. Look, man, you got a young kid that's getting assassinated on public media, social media. He begged me to help him. I was already helping, but it was a consistent deal, obviously, meaning far after representation, begging me to help him. And you move as fast as you can with what you have, right? But there was a defining point for me in this whole situation that I knew he wasn't joking. And he referenced things in football fields. And I know it's easy to look back and say, oh, I bet he never said that. He's deceased now. BS. I'm telling you now what he told me. He said I was a football field. A football field is how he compared things, right? So he's saying when he got back in his lane of traffic, I know I was a football or even a little over a football field over by the time I'm back in my lane. And when I told him that they had video surveillance of this whole thing, it was like he was relieved for a second. Because I think in his mind, he thought that, which most did, most people that I talked to think that he actually hit the vehicle or he barely got past him and then they collided. That was the narrative that I heard the most. Mm-hmm. So in his mind, at least he's looking at this going, okay, somebody can show I was actually watched this accident. I saw it. And he told me there was a car between them. Hell, after I read everything prior to meeting with him and the things that I heard, I'm questioning what's going on here. Mm-hmm. I'm going, did he just get through and take off like they suggested? You and I read reports earlier. We're looking at all news reports where they say he actually collided with a vehicle.
They did.
They actually said he fled a scene. They actually said he came back to the scene. Do you know how preposterous that is? None of that's true. And he sure as hell never split the difference and barely got through, and then there was some big explosion. That's not what happened. Kyron Lacy passed 4 vehicles. There's no question, in a row. Nobody ever disputed that. But it's now undisputed that he got back in. 92.3 yards. Now, interestingly enough, the report indicates that at 120.4 yards, he was already entering back into the lane, right? The reason they reference that is they say in this report, the district attorney's office, their investigation yielded that at that time, Kyron and vehicle number 2, all right, 1.5 seconds before the accident, or 120.4 yards apart.
So it's at 120.4 yards, not feet.
All this is yards. This is not feet.
It's a big difference.
The only footage we have discussed, you and I today, is what's legally required when you pass a vehicle.
100 feet.
You have to be back in your lane of traffic 100 feet. He was over 300 feet. I'll be the first to admit that particular law does not say when you're in a no passing zone. Be clear. He passed 4 vehicles in a no passing zone. Mm-hmm. Never been disputed. Not once. Did I ever dispute that or anybody else? But the big narrative spun was, and this is very important, that he was actively passing at the time of this accident. That is extremely important. We know now that is 100% false. In the conclusion of the district attorney's report,
what page, John? I'm going to follow.
This is on page 12.
Yeah, let me get to 12 here. Okay, go ahead.
They state in here that they gave the impression that Kyron Lacy was actively passing vehicles when the crash occurred, which is incorrect. He did pass 4 vehicles, but was back in the southbound lane before the crash occurred. And now we know, according to this data, that was 72.6 yards, as it's stated in this report.
When I think at one point while we were talking, you indicated to me that Kyron was very close to being vindicated on this matter. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so in my opinion, I had a very good idea of enough started adding up to me to know that there were holes all over this thing, right? So it's the policy of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office that all homicides go to a grand jury. We were nearing that grand jury, right? Where all of this was coming out. Everything I'm telling you now is going to be presented to a grand jury in a fair, neutral, and impartial manner. Mm-hmm. So in my opinion, this never survives a grand jury. Never, never, ever survives a grand jury.
And he said that back then. He said that when he did that interview right after Kyron passed. He said that. He said, with what I have, when this goes to the grand jury, he won't be indicted. That was his true belief.
jury. We were 48 hours from that, from this report getting to the grand jury, right? So it is the process. They moved it as quickly as they could. And by that, I just mean, it was done just like, which is the right thing to do, like every other case. It was done fair and square where, look, we have a homicide. We have to go through this process. The only promise that Ms. Russell made to myself and civil counsel for Mr. Hall was that she would complete the investigation and immediately set it for grand jury out of fairness to both. And she did that. She did exactly what she promised she would do. Insofar as an investigation, we had no idea what a result would be on her end. No clue. Mm-hmm. We just knew it was being done. They didn't sit on it for, some amount of time. They worked it thoroughly, but in the time manner that they could. And they set it for grand jury just like they promised. So we couldn't have asked for more from a office who has always been and will always be just extremely fair, right? I mean, that's all you can ask for. There's no fault on their part. There's certainly no fault whatsoever on the part of Mr. Hall. That's a wonderful family. Believe me, it's not easy for me to get up here right now. There's a man who passed away other than Kyron Lacy, and his life was just as important as Kyron Lacy.
And that was one thing I regretted, and I would tell the family that I didn't spend enough time talking about Mr. Hall. He's deceased, and just paying our respects to their family too, because they're grieving, and naturally they're going through a lot of turmoil too. But of course, I guess what we're looking for on this show is, and I think everyone would want it. I don't care which side you're on. You just want the truth.
I just want the accurate truth, right? What one thing, and I hate to, in fact, I'm not going to harp on it again, but you're right. That's all we're after here is a better picture of the truth. That's it. Never what do you get me up here to try and put a black eye on state police. Look, man, these guys got a tough job. Mm-hmm. Tough job. There's some excellent, wonderful individuals, more than I can ever imagine, actually. I enjoy working with them. That's not my point here. But I hold myself accountable. I hold everyone that I come across accountable. They get no pass from me either. That doesn't mean they're bad people, right? That's not what we're here to say. That's not what I'm saying. I've never said that. I never will. I'm simply here to compare and contrast. Now, the findings of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office versus the findings of state police. We have a vast difference.
Let me go a little step further, because I want to go to Houston a little bit, because, there, and again, I mean, if you watch Facebook or you listen to social media, you're going to get 20 different reasons why Kyron Lacy took his life. And I'm going to go out on a limb, because I figure you probably know the truth on this matter. Is there anything that you would like to set straight about the Houston part of this story?
I don't know that the Houston part of this story didn't upset me more than the front end.
Side note. This is a side note. Does anybody remember the movie A Time to Kill? In that movie, there was a lawyer. I forget what his name is in real life. And I don't know how I can forget that, because he's one of my favorite actors. And I think he's a sexy white boy. Like back in that movie, he was, y'all know I don't do the cream, but, in that movie, Matthew something, his real name. Anywho, that's who this guy reminds me of, y'all. Yeah, it's Matthew McConaughey or something like that. Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, in that movie, I had to hear that's him. That's Miss Ann. Please don't, Miss Ann. I love you so much. You are my girl for life, Miss Ann. But please don't listen. Let's not start beefing. Let's not start beefing over Matthew, because we could beef over Matthew, right? Because I remember when that movie came out and I initially watched it, that man, and I think he was the first white guy that I've ever said was sexy. Like, in that movie, to me, honestly. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. Matthew McConaughey, that's him. And I remember he's the first white guy I ever said I think was sexy. In that movie, I thought he was sexy in that movie. And I also felt I loved him in that movie. How he fought for Samuel L. Jackson. I can't even get it out. Samuel L. Jackson, right? But this is who Matt Ory reminds me of in the moment. Like, even from when I first reacted to this case. That's who he reminds. The passion. you know what I'm saying, that he has for bringing justice for Kyron, that reminds me of Matt in that movie. Yup, that's who he reminds me of. Okay, y'all, back to the video. I just had to say that.
Let me just say this. Kyron Lacy went to Houston that Friday with his mind mate. He was suffering. There was a point in time that night at his apartment, the apartment that he, his little brother, and his cousin were in. His mind was made. He wanted the keys to that vehicle to, I don't know how to say this,
All right, let's listen to this. Let's listen to this part very carefully, because what he's speaking on right now, he's talking about the night that Kyron passed away. He's speaking the night that Kyron passed away. And I've always been curious because they never really talked about what happened that night. So I'm very curious as to what he thinks happened that night and what he knows. So let's listen. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna match playing to me. Thank you, Miss Lynn. Y'all continue to double tap that screen and feel free to support the channel. Thank you, Miss Lynn. Here we go, y'all. Let's listen.
all we're after here is a better picture of the truth. That's it. Never what do you get me up here to try and put a black eye on state police. Look, man, these guys got a tough job. Tough job. There's some excellent, wonderful individuals, more than I can ever imagine, actually. I enjoy working with them. That's not my point here. But I hold myself accountable. I hold everyone that I come across accountable. They get no pass from me either. That doesn't mean they're bad people, right? That's not what we're here to say. That's not what I'm saying. I've never said that. I never will. I'm simply here to compare and contrast. Now, the findings of the Lafourche Parish District Attorney's Office versus the findings of state police. We have a vast difference.
Let me go a little step further because I want to go to Houston a little bit because, you know.
Happy Monday, Miss Tanya. Thanks for joining, sweetheart.
There and again, I mean, if you watch Facebook or you listen to social media, you're going to get 20 different reasons why Kyron Lacy took his life. And I'm going to go out on a limb because I figure you probably know the truth on this matter. Is there anything that you would like to set straight about the Houston part of this story?
I don't know that the Houston part of this story didn't upset me more than the front end. Let me just say this. Kyron Lacy went to Houston that Friday with his mind mate. He was suffering. There was a point in time that night at his apartment, the apartment that he, his little brother, and his cousin were in. His mind was made. He wanted the keys to that vehicle to, I don't know how to say this, to
take his life.
Yeah. So it's either you give me my keys and I do this on my own accord, or this is going to go down right here, right now. Obviously, the keys were given. A welfare call was made. Keyword, welfare. Welfare check. Right? There was no crime. There's none of that, man. No drug.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God, y'all. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I did not know this. I thought that And let me say this: I could have very well made a phone call. I could have very. I've always been curious as to what went down that day, right? That he took his life. I've always been curious. I could have very well made a phone call to Lucius and asked Lucius. Whether she would have told me or not is another story, but I could have asked the question. But I never do that. Like when I talk to my supporters that's going through something like this, and they talk to me, or I reach out to them and I talk to them, I listen. You know what I'm saying? I listen to what they have to say. Do I ask questions? Yeah, I ask questions to what they are telling me. I just had a phone conversation this morning, right? Long phone conversation. So I don't. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't like to come off evasive. I don't like to come off like, I'm asking questions that they may not want to answer or that I feel like is insensitive, right? So, I've always thought it was something that happened. I've always felt like, just from what we was hearing in the news reports and stuff like that, that there was like an altercation, or Kyron got into it with a family member, and because all they said was that a gunshot was that there was a gunshot, right? They did say it was a gunshot towards the floor, but they never said that. Hold on. They never made it clear. I've never heard the reports. Maybe they're out there, but I've never heard them. I've never heard the reports of a clear understanding of what happened at night with Kyron in Houston, right? So this is my first time hearing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he left that apartment in order to unalive himself, and that the call that was made to help him. The call that was made to the police was made to help him. I never knew this. Okay, let's listen, y'all. I'm sorry.
Drugs, none of that BS. Kid's mind was made. You know the rest of the story.
So he told whomever he was with that was the place and time. Wasn't there a shot fired or something?
That's how he got his keys. I think that's how you're showing him. And by the way, the shot was fired in the ground on purpose.
So he basically rang the shot off to say, "Give me my keys." The family member did not want to give him those keys. He fired towards the ground. He wasn't trying to hurt nobody. He didn't point the gun at nobody. He wasn't going to shoot nobody. None of that. He shot into the ground in order for the person that had his keys to turn them over. Damn.
To let them know the seriousness of what was going on in his head.
So he wanted their attention.
He wanted his keys.
Yeah.
And they knew not to give him his keys. They knew what was going to happen. But what are you going to do? You going to watch it go down, or are you going to give him his keys?
Right.
His mind was made. Social media killed him. Killed him.
Mm-hmm.
All those tough guys behind the computer,
Yep.
same ones that come after me when I do this interview,
Mm-hmm.
those guys.
A young man could not get used to it.
They're kids, man.
Yeah.
The difference between you and I, Martin, and them, they don't know anything else other than those devices.
Right.
You especially. I'm a little bit younger, but even myself, that's a later deal.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they know. They can't get away from them. And they believe what these people say. They believe
Right.
it. It doesn't matter what I showed you today. There are going to be people that are going to talk horribly about him, horribly about me. Life is such, but I have a job to do.
Mm-hmm.
No matter who is in the way of that. You have to do what you have to do. Whatever consequences come my way from this, so be it.
And I'm hearing you loud and clear. He, in his own mind, and I'm speculating, he was already prosecuted in his own mind.
That's correct. He's already prosecuted.
And we can only imagine, wasn't the Vikings about to draft him?
I talked to the Saints. I had talked to the Vikings, not that I'm his agent by any stretch,
No, I know.
but there were teams reaching out to learn about this matter, that really liked him. But they obviously wanted to know what was going on. I did the best that I could to tell them and advise them the grand jury was set for this particular day. We didn't make it there, though. So Kyron Lacey is going to change the way things are done. He's going to make people think twice about what they say before they say it. Not everybody, somebody. Maybe Kyron Lacey makes someone think twice before the next investigation to say, hold on, maybe we got to look at a few other things here, right? Maybe let's not jump to conclusions. Thoroughly review. Just maybe somebody else is saved from the same exact thing. Maybe thousands.
I do offer all other sides a chance to come. They can debate it or rebut or whatever.
To this day, formal charges were never accepted by district attorney. This is over. There's no criminal proceeding.
Done.
This is about making a promise to a kid who begged you to help him. You make a promise, you follow through on that promise. It's nothing more, nothing less to tell the world Kyron Lacey's version. He never got to tell the world his version. We just did that.
Wow. Have you spoken to his family?
I did. I did. I met with him after obtaining everything, thoroughly going through it, watching videos, listening to statements. We've seen everything. And, you know, it just brings back a lot of memories. Same for Mr. Hall's family. I know it brings back some memories you guys don't want to recall. Same for the Lacey family. Because at the end of the day, you got two very important lives that were lost. Nothing's going to bring that back, either one of them. So I talked to him. You can about imagine how it went. Very cordial, though. No yelling, no throwing, none of that. A lot of crying.
Right.
As I suspect Mr. Hall's family does the same thing, rightfully so, right? So it's just not fun for anybody, to be quite frank.
And that's the hardest part about doing an interview like this is you have so many people involved, and Kyron Lacey just happens to be such a high-profile person that I know the Halls grieving. And once again, if I had any regrets from the first interviews, that I didn't talk about Mr. Hall. And from what I heard, he was a tremendous man and just great storyteller, good person. But
Class act family.
It's just, it seems to be a tragedy all the way around.
It is.
When you really look at it.
It is. There's no winners here. There never will be. The class that Mr. Hall's family has exhibited has been tremendous. I know it's hard, but truly appreciated.
Yeah, and hopefully this can find some kind of space where truth is always the best aspect of people coming forward. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you talked about the state police too, because I've worked with them for 42 years, and they come every week to do news stories, and we always want to be careful on this news desk that we don't say something that sort of depicts the whole deal as being the whole state police or the whole district attorney's office.
And the crazy part about all this, fam, the information you guys just heard before it was released to the public was also the information that was presented to the 17th District Court, which approved an arrest warrant based on evidence collected. As with all investigations leading to an arrest, the subjects of the investigation are presumed innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. But we all know how that goes. Now, since all this information has come out to the public, the police has been defending the findings of Lacey Crash investigation after his attorney provides new evidence. So as of now, fam, it's on us to make sure they do what they need to do. That's right, we're not asking for no favors. We want justice, and we want it as quick as they arrested this man and tried to tear down his image, which led to him ultimately losing his life before he was set to take trial. I'm sending love and prayers to Lacey's family. I'm praying for justice. And fam, I hope I get to do my part by trying my best to shine light on this story and bringing it to you guys' attention. With that being said, this was an update of a man who lost his life by his own hands after not knowing how to deal with so much pressure of being publicly found guilty by knowing you innocent. As more develop, I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Fam, let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to
All right, y'all. So, Tony, you asked a good question, and honestly, that question was gonna be what I was gonna end this. I was gonna end this live stream asking. Knowing that we know now, will the young lady that actually caused the accident be brought to justice? Will she be arrested? Will she be charged? The officer that made those false statements or coerced those false statements or lied, will he be charged with anything? Will he be reprimanded? You know what I'm saying? That's what needs to happen. Like, she's the one that so as quick as y'all, you know what I'm saying, charge Kyron, why is she not being charged? That's a whole nother crime in itself. Y'all, we're not done. I have other stuff I want to react to, talk about, listen to. So I will be back on this whole Kyron Lacy situation. But I do want y'all to continue to pray for all families involved, the Lacy family, the Hall family. I've learned some stuff and listening to these updates that I just didn't know back then. And I'm telling y'all, it's just bothering me so bad. Like the fact that he was adamant at that point. And I knew, like I say, I've said it several times and I'm going to continue to say it that, you know, once they pulled that draft card, you know, Kyron gave up. He gave up. And I think that's pretty sad. And I think that, you know, social media also played a part in it. You know, the court of public opinion played a part in it. It's pretty sad. But we're going to talk about this more, y'all. This is not my last live. I will be doing either Wednesday or Thursday another live where we can talk about some other stuff that's out here. But I think that Louisiana State Police are, you know, I ain't going to even say the whole... I don't know, y'all. I you know, I was taught you don't crucify everybody for one person's. But when stuff start, when things keep happening and it's just a pattern, and there's reports that, you know, this is being done over and over and over again, what can you do? What can you say? I mean, you know, not everyone is bad, but there's enough bad out there that somebody need to do something about it. This shit don't make no sense, like for real. Thank you, Lady Marie. I appreciate it, boo. But yeah, y'all pray. You know, just pray for, like I said, the Hall family, the Lacy family. I feel so. I really feel for his mom, his dad, you know, our sister Lucius, you know, the family or whatever. And that's another thing I'm going to do when I come back in my next live. We're going to go down Lucius's YouTube community wall. We're going to go over there and we're going to check out what she's been posting. She got some stuff that was put on Facebook that she shared on her community wall. I want to do that too as well. We're going to go down her community wall. So, yeah, y'all, until we come back on this again, y'all, please continue to pray. And I appreciate y'all supporting this live stream. I really, really do. Thank y'all so much. I'll see y'all later on the other channel, y'all. Listen, y'all have a safe, beautiful day. Social media played a big part. It seems especially to our youth. Yeah. So, y'all have a beautiful rest of your day. I'll see y'all in the, actually, I'm supposed to be starting that live right now, but it'll probably be an hour. I need an hour. Thank you, Miss Ann. Same to you, sweetie. And like I said at the beginning of the live, y'all follow me over there to the T channel, and I'll be giving y'all some information on Candy and why her family's in desperate need of prayer. So y'all make sure y'all pray for Candy Corn and her family as well. And when I get over to the T channel, I'll talk about it a little bit more, just a little bit. So y'all can lift her up in spirits and in prayer, okay? Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate it, boo. I love y'all, and I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all continue to have a blessed, beautiful day. I'll see y'all later. And until next time, truth seekers stand up. And we out. Y'all be good. I love y'all.